All right, and welcome back to episode 303 of the Unpaid and Underrated Podcast, a podcast by crew for crew. I'm one of your hosts, Big Keith, joined as always by my co-host here, Big Joey.
Hello.
And we have a special guest crew this week, Big Jess Cesney.
What the fuck is up, boys?
Oh, wow.
We can swear on
Fire.
this thing.
Yeah, I guess. We just can't tell Jen, but yeah, I guess we're good to go.
Bye-bye monetization.
If we ever made $1 off this podcast, I'd be, we'd be $1 richer, I guess.
I know you guys are getting ready for that speedboat any day now.
One of these days, it's just we'll have to have I don't know where it's going to live. I mean, I guess it could live. Do we all live on Lake?
I do, yeah, Ontario.
Lake Ontario. Nate's probably on Lake Erie though, so we'll have to figure out a way to see if Lake Erie and Ontario connect, so we can Nate can get it on his weekend.
I think the falls are gonna be the problem for that, buddy.
Possibly.
We should probably introduce the other voice.
We did.
Did we?
That's Big Jess Cesney. She said, "What the fuck is up?"
Oh, I can't hear you.
I did say that.
And then I commented on it.
Yes, you did.
I'm having fun in my mask right now.
Everyone's in a little. Let's kick off. What are we wearing first? So in case these costumes don't last all night. So Big Jess, what are you wearing over there, buddy?
I am wearing my husband, Big Matt Cesney's Halloween costume, which is the hot dog suit. My costume is a mustard bottle, but from like the neck up, it just looks like a banana. And I didn't want to give you guys any other ideas, so I went with a different cylindrical shape. But underneath it, I do have my special limited edition, one-of-a-kind Massonomics numero uno shirt that I got at the Lift Hard Live Easy this summer. I believe tie-dyed by Mary herself. I'm not sure exactly who tied it. This is an educated guess.
Someone in Aberdeen.
Someone tie-dyed it.
Absolutely. I'm just rocking out the old Dark Side of the Moon shirt.
I have a Norse Fitness shirt on. But I'm also wearing a luchador mask from the band Pucifer. This was limited edition at their the wrestling tour that they did, where they had a whole wrestling ring built on the stage, and they did entire wrestling matches throughout the set.
Oh, wow.
It will not stay on long, and this is hot. This is very hot.
I can imagine that's not breathing very well. What are you drinking over there tonight, Big Jess?
It's very risky, but I got a White Monster in here. White Monster Mafia. I know it's kind of late for a White Monster, but
yeah, that's
a special occasion.
Oh, wow. I do always have one of those nearby if I needed it, but I can't do caffeine that late. But I do have a caffeine-free soda tonight. I've got an A&W Rut beer. I apparently I've been saying it wrong my whole life. It is Rut beer. So I'm gonna drink a little A&W Rut beer tonight. Caffeine-free. We're good to go.
Up here, all root beer is caffeine-free except for Barks.
I think you've told me that, yeah.
That's wild. As usual, I can feel myself getting sick again.
Oh, no.
So I have a water, and then I have this beer that has taken me an hour to get through this much.
That's not very far.
It's not very far.
Well, we got a handful of topics to hit this week. So there's a second mystery, unless I'm not aware, because I think Tanner posted it on Massonomics' page, but didn't say who it was. But we got a second crew that achieved Hall of Fame jacket status. So
yep,
I think I know who it is, but I don't know. It was like a number 16 or something. So definitely someone in the teens. So we'll see who that we'll see that come out in the wash who actually got it. But congratulations, mystery crew.
No, it is a mystery. I'm trying to speculate on who it could be.
I know especially knowing you've probably been tearing up the phones, gossiping all over town, trying to figure out who it was.
I'm watching. I'm trying to figure it out.
And then what else we have this week? There was a little, I think last Friday there was the Jen Thompson YouTube video tour of the home gym, so that one was decent. I was kind of having deja vu because I'm like 90% sure Coop just did that same that gym tour like a month ago, so I was like, did I click on the wrong video? Okay, no, there was Coop's video I watched like a couple weeks, like a month or two ago, and then Tanner and Tommy took their own swing at it, so it was very, very enjoyable. Either you get a chance to watch that?
No,
that's okay.
I'm not a big YouTube girl.
I can't. YouTuber. I'm not a big long form YouTube person.
No, I feel you.
I put my music videos on in the background and I do stuff.
Yep, yep, yep. Another thing that was on YouTube this week was it was Static Monsters out there in Rochester.
Hmm.
So that was I got my powerlifting meet out of the way. So I hit a 200-pound log, so I got my 2.5 pound PR on that. Was pretty stoked about. Been chasing 200 for a very long time. I've missed that weight at least 5 or 6 times that I've loaded on the bar, so or loaded on the log that is. So that was a very, very awesome to get that. And it was the first time I've ever actually like. So if you watch the video, like I miss it at first, and then take it back into my chest, and then actually lock it out. Like I don't think I've ever done that, and if I did, it was like with just like a really light weight that was just kind of like a fluke that I missed it. But I've never missed one, and then actually was able to recover like that because usually I'm like tweaking my back or something. So I was so ecstatic to get that.
Good
Deadlifts.
work.
Thank you, thank you. Deadlifts didn't go. I mean, I did get I did get 10 pounds more than I got in training, but deadlifts felt like shit all training, at least the last month or so. So played it kind of conservative, and then like was annoyed that I went as light as I did because I felt I had like 20 or 30 more pounds on me. But whatever, got 455 on that, and then the stones. I wasn't sure if I was gonna do the stones at all, just because my knee was giving me a hell of an issue that whole week leading into it. But I was feeling pretty good after the first two events, and so the stones were optional for Static Monsters, but the meet director just added it to have it be more appealing of a strongman show to people. So I did jump in on that. And it was like last man standing. So basically, they started at 175, and then it was just going to work all the way up to like 400 pounds until everyone was out. So my best stone at that point had been a 240 stone. I think I loaded for a few reps, but I'd never got the 265. I'd missed it a few times, but I did. So I did the 175, the 200, the 220, the 240, and then I did get the 265. Like, and then when there was a 305 that I went back out to try to get on my last attempt. But from the 265 to 305, it goes from like don't quote me on the inches. I think it's 16 to 20 or 16 to 21. Like the diameter of the stone gets 20-ish% bigger. So just the imagine like it's only, you know, 40-ish pounds heavier, but it's the diameter or, the
Right.
girth, if you will. So there was just, it didn't even come off the ground. I could barely like get my hands around it. And I just was, I don't know, but I was still very excited. Met Big Dan from Syracuse, one of a newer crew. I think he's newer crew, pretty sure. So he's a big strongman powerlifter guy out in Syracuse. I think he's more of a strongman than powerlifter, but he knew a lot of the guys out there. So he jumped in, and so it was Chris, Mark competed, Dan competed, I competed. So three crew all under the same roof with my rut beer. God damn it. I didn't even try to say it wrong that time. It just happened. And then Big Lucas, last week's guest, was also there helping spot and load and everything. So we had four of the six. I know we have at least six Western New York crew. There was a seventh, actually another dude in Rochester, but he kind of goes dark every now and then. So I don't know if he's still crew or not technically, but regardless, there's at least six of us that I know of. And there was four of us under the same roof. I thought that was pretty cool. We got some good pictures. Just all in all, it was a great time. Also, kudos to, I think there was Jesus. I mean, tune into Tanner talk about it on supporting our supporting members, but there was several other crew doing strongman shows that day. Not all Static Monster, but some were Static. And then tried to keep tabs on everybody. And congrats crew, we did it.
Hey, great work, Keith. So
Thank you.
excited for you. You've been chasing that 200 log.
I
Yep.
know now it's like 205,
Yep.
20, 202 and a half, but I think the log is probably going to get retired for a little bit.
I'll take
Just
it.
because, no, like, fuck off. Like, I did take it down in the basement because the next thing I might do, there's another strongman show in December that one of the events is an incline. It's a seated incline log press. And so like
Oh,
I can train that in the basement. You basically have to pick it up, sit down with it on your lap, roll it up in your chest, and then like, do a rep. Which I did take it down and experiment with just the empty log, and I was like, ugh, this is interesting. I ended up whacking myself right in the fucking chin really hard with it too. That hurt so goddamn bad. So we'll see. We'll see where my training goes. But there's Lift Hard, Live Easy strongman events are starting to get leaked out by Jake and his new strongman promotion Instagram. So go give that a follow. I think it's Hide Strength, I believe.
I did.
Hide, yeah. I think he abbreviated because he didn't do his full name. He just did like part
Right.
of his
Yeah,
name.
Hayden.
Yeah, thought it was Hyde. I can't remember. Either way, nonetheless. So the first event there is going to be a see a log or no shit, an axle clean and press for reps, max reps in 75 seconds, and then a deadlift medley with a Jefferson deadlift, a sumo deadlift, and a 13-inch axle, and then the axles for reps. So it's like 1 rep of one at a set weight, 1 rep of sumo at a set weight, and then the set weight axle at 13 inches for just, as many as you can get. I'm not sure if there's a time on that or not, but I think that's the second of potentially, 4 or 6 events that, so we'll keep an eye out for all those, and, hopefully, hopefully everyone gets a spot that they want. Everyone that wants a spot in strongman can get one, because it's going to be highly coveted spots.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I love to see that they are doing the Jefferson Dallas. It just feels very authentic to the crew.
It's about time.
Cannot wait to see it. Yeah.
Yeah, the Jefferson will be interesting. The sumo I could live without, just because I don't sumo deadlift because it hurts me. So I'll at least got to get up to, I think I have to go like 365 or 385 or something like that. So yeah, we'll give her a shot. Assuming I can get everyone's giving me shit saying I can't go novice, and I'm like, okay, well if I can't go novice, then I guess I have to go powerlifting. And if I have to do powerlifting, I probably won't even compete, because I'll just go out and have fun. I really don't want to do another powerlifting meet for a while. So, other than the one I'm already signed up for. So, but we'll play that one by ear. But in general, I have no ability to not do novice just based off of the numbers. Like I'm not going to go out there and zero everything. It's not even close. It's like 70 pounds above my PR. It's like I'm not going to get 70 pounds stronger. If it was like 20 or 30 pounds and I could like almost fight for it, sure, I'd give it a shot. It's so astronomically out of my strength level that, And that
So
is
what's your plan, Big Keith? Are you going to like sign up for both and then drop out of one, or
I'm gonna, at least the way it's set up is the strongman is the week before for registration. So
yeah.
I'll know that week if I need to try to sign up for powerlifting or not. You know what I mean? Like, I can say that now, but if I don't get strongman, I'm sure I'll do powerlifting, and I'll just have fun and do it, and I'll cancel my March meet. But in a perfect world, I'll do my March powerlifting in Rochester, and then I'll go out and have fun and hang out with the homies and do a low key strongman show and just have fun. But if I can't get into it, then I don't know.
I'm sure you'll be fine.
Everything's fine.
Yeah, everything's fine. Was everything fine? Did you get a chance to get your everything's fine pedicure?
Oh, buddy, that was not an everything fine pedicure.
No,
No, that was a no. Everything, like, it went okay, but I didn't go and get it because everything is fine.
Oh well, it was everything
normally
was fine
I wear
afterwards.
Yeah, I wear barefoot shoes 24/7, and I've been forced to wear like boots for the past 2 weeks off and on, and it just crumbled the calluses on my feet, and it was to the point where they're like catching on the sheets and stuff. So I was like, nope, got to go and get that addressed.
Yeah, shave those down.
It's just been, I've been calling it Fucktober. I'm just over this entire October month, just between opening the new warehouse, having 2 deaths really close to me, just being all over the place, being sick twice. I just want October over. So I was like, just give me a half an hour of somebody just cutting my feet and making me feel better.
No, that's definitely got to take that's physical, and that's definitely a physical necessity, and just as much as a mental. Because I mean, a couple times I've had pedicures, you get a little bit of a calf massage out of it, essentially, and it's not really a massage by any means, but it's like they try to pamper you a little bit. Did you get any nail collaring there, Mr. Joseph?
No, I didn't do that.
No clear, nothing.
No, because I didn't wear sandals. So like generally, if you're doing that, they ask you to wear sandals so that you can sit there while it dries.
That makes sense. Yeah. If you're putting them right back into your shoes, then that's really smart.
There was no point. This was literally just like make walking suck less for a little bit.
Yeah, that'll do it. Yeah, wearing steel toe boots is unpleasant, very unpleasant.
Like I said, barefoot shoes 24/7 for 2 years, and then suddenly they're like, no, now you're in boots, and it crumbled me. But that's all right. It is what it is. You want to rate last week's episode?
Yeah, Big Jess. What did you think of last week's episode with the guy that picks up rocks and whatnot?
I loved it. I listened to it this morning. I will say sorry, Joey. I'm not a big rocks gal myself.
They don't knock your socks off?
It does not knock my socks off. But I enjoyed listening to the episode. I loved the supporting members at the beginning. I really loved all the coughing from the special guest.
That was awesome.
There was a lot of coughing, really set the mood for this evening to listen to Joey be sick again. And I most of all, I really enjoyed the cottage cheese talk at the end. I am like recently a big fan of cottage cheese. I have not liked it, but now I am on the cottage cheese train. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 5 out of 5 historic lifting stones.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In
Yep.
a rare occasion, I actually knew who this guy was.
Ooh.
And in hold
If
on,
there's anyone that you would know, it's this
it's the
guy.
guy that goes around and picks up rocks.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I don't think I followed him till after or
What is
right
these
before.
lift stones repeat or something?
Possibly.
Travel, lift stones, repeat.
Okay, travel lift stones repeat. So yeah, I am fairly certain I found that guy through what do you call it? Through some of the stone people up here, because Bex runs this really big Canadian stone lifting page. And yeah, so big fan of that guy already. Um, kind of knew who he was. Good episode, except for all the coughing. Especially liked how he talked about how he trains to lift stones, which is essentially the same thing that that other one guy said. If you just stay strong all the time, generally, you can pretty much pull everything off. I hate cottage cheese. Nope, can't do it. It's a consistency thing for me. Um, well, I don't know what else to really say. Sorry about Tanner's ACL. That
Oh
sucks.
yeah,
Yeah,
brutal.
yeah. So I'm gonna give this one 5 out of 5 rocks.
Nice. Yeah, getting a little bit more clarity on Tanner's situation. I mean, it found it funny that like he broke the news to Tommy live too. It was just like, hey buddy, so this happened to me 2 weeks ago, and I'll go ahead and let you know at the same time I let 100 crew know. Uh, so I got a kick out of that. They kind of pulled an us and just had a hot mic and did a botched the intro and just kind of left it in, and I thought that was great. I think they even got the episode title wrong. If I was to reference someone's meme they made, I think Big Ryan made a meme about the wrong episode title and referencing us. So got a kick out of that. Um, Cottage cheese is hit or miss for me. I do like cottage cheese with like the pre-mix with pineapple is pretty good sometimes, but just plain cottage cheese, it's so hit or miss brand to brand that it's I don't know. I haven't had great success, but the macros are hard to argue with. It's better macros than just like a plain Greek yogurt, but a plain Greek yogurt is a lot more consistent and it's almost like a dessert treat, whereas cottage cheese, it's kind of work to eat sometimes. So for all that, I will go ahead and give it 5 out of 5 wrong episode titles.
I
Perfect.
thought that was pretty funny too. He's like listened to by millions of, and I was like, yeah, that sounds familiar.
Oh, the only other thing I want to talk about, I guess I should have mentioned it on the what you're wearing. I should have been wearing my meat shirt,
Hmm.
but my dumb ass, when I signed up, I think there was something where like it didn't take my credit card at once, and then the whole thing wiped. So then I had to go back and do everything again. And then when I went back through the second time, I must not have clicked on the shirt size, and I think it just defaulted to fucking small. So the meat director handed me a small T-shirt, and I was like, "Motherfucker!" And
Wow.
he was like, I'm pretty sure we're gonna have some extras. You can just buy an additional one." And I was like, "Okay, cool." So then I texted him after. He's like, "Yeah, all we have is one 3X." And I was like, I'm good. I'm just gonna hang the small on the wall and call it a day because I'm not buying a 3X shirt." But I'm
Yeah.
very, very frustrated at myself for that. So I guess, note to self, when you're signing up on Iron Podium, fucking make sure you get the right T-shirt size. So won't do that one again.
Yeah. You live and learn. At some point,
Um,
like you have so many shirts. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, but
I
you
like,
hate to not have it. This is a big meet, big day for you, Keith. You want to have the shirt, but
yeah. No, I
yeah,
saw.
you do have a shirt.
Yeah, no, and I'm fine with that because like anyone that's been to my gym knows that I have like a literal wall of my meat shirts. Like out of except for like a couple that I will still wear, like the most recent ones basically, and even a lot of times like I always try to get two lift hard live easies so one can stay on the rotation and one can just go on the wall. So I've got a basically a wall of shelving units that just have hangers hanging off of them with fucking 8 years worth of meats and strongman shows t-shirts. So I guess the small, if anything, will just help because we're running out of space, so a small t-shirt will fit better. But that's about it. Any other general questions any other general topics we missed there, guys?
Not that I
Anything?
can think of.
All right, that works for me. Let's Big Jess, you got anything you want to say about the Massnomics?
Oh, I would love to say a few words. Thanks, guys. On Unpaid and Underrated, we love to sing the praises of our sister podcast, Massonomics, which is not just a podcast, but a lifestyle, and a very fine one at that. The memes, the YouTube videos, all of our favorite lifting apparel, and all the merch, and not to mention all of the gains that we have gained along the way from the insights shared. But what if I told you that the real measure of our strength is, you guessed it, the friends we made along the way? For the low cost of just $3 a month, you too can buy internet friends like we have. Listen, anyone can sell you a shirt, but the folks over at Massonomics have found a way to make bona fide friendship available for purchase. And when you put pen to paper, you just can't afford not to. So go to massonomics.com/join to sign up today.
Very good. Am I muted? No. Okay. I keep muting to sniff. And then I think one time I muted, I sniffled, and then I looked away, and then I went to mute again and sniffle, and instead just like sniffed right into this microphone. So, yeah, it's going great. It's the
Hey,
kids.
Keith, you're muted now.
Yep.
God damn it, I was too.
Yeah, he was watching him talk the whole time.
Fucking asshole. Thanks for saying something, Joey.
I was trying to talk and keep the crowd warm for you.
That's okay. Well, we appreciate that great ad read. Probably about that time we kick everybody out. We got all those listeners. We can, make sure they have something to tune into next week. So
yeah, boot them all out. Get the guest on the horn.
Yeah. Big Jess, is that you?
It's me. Hello.
Hello. Welcome to the Unpaid and Underrated podcast.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. It's been a long time coming.
It has.
Yes,
It's we've known about you for a while now,
Getting you on, I said earlier I would share the story. It's not particularly long or that hilarious, but I think we were sitting, was it at the zoo that I approached you?
No, it was at the meet. I think we sat down for like 5 minutes, like between the strongman, the powerlifting and doing the strongman beginning. I sat down for like just a hot minute, and you got me.
Yeah, it's because at some point you were looking at me, and I think I turned to Murph or Jen, and I went, "Did I do something to Jess? Why is she staring at me like that?" And one of them went, "Because she wants on the podcast." And I went, "She's not scheduled yet." And that's when I came running over with my phone out, and I was like, "Pick a date."
I promise you that is not why I was looking at you. I don't remember staring at you. I've got a rough case of resting bitch face.
No, it wasn't even an angry stare. I was just like, what did I do? Did I say something stupid?
No.
Yeah, and that was just like, well, she wants on the podcast, and I just couldn't believe you weren't scheduled. And that's when I was like, no, I'm going to make that happen now.
Who else is out there from Western Northeast South Dakota that thought that I was just mean mugging them?
Did I say something stupid? I think I called you Jen at some point.
I get that all the time.
Yeah, it was at the meet while you were in between like 3 things. Maybe that's what I thought I did.
Squat bench.
Like, oh, she's mad at me for that. Nope.
No, I promise I'm not.
No, obviously. Wouldn't be here if you were. So after all of that, tell us your story. What brought you to Massonomics?
Oh my God. Where to begin? I guess. So the main reason I'm here is my lovely husband, Big Matt says me. He has been a longtime fan of the podcast, crew member for a few years. And Massonomics has been really integral to his lifting journey. And I have just been by default kind of along for the ride. I was really I really resisted weight training, any kind of strength sports at all. For many years, it was a big source of contention between he and I. Mm-hmm. But when I came out for the Lift Hard Live Easy 1 in 2023, and I got to meet this great group of people, then I really got it at that point. You know what I mean? I got to meet, a good number of people who were there the first year. And then you really see this is something special. This is a good group of people that have real loyalty and real friendships with each other. And, that was the third meet that I had spectated. Matt had been in 2 meets prior in 2022. The first one we met Big Keith at, which was our first crew introduction.
Yeah. And I'm 90% sure you had a book there the whole time and were reading it, if I recall.
Oh, maybe. I feel like because that was my first meet, I didn't really know what to expect. I definitely probably brought a book or my Kindle or something, but I don't think that I actually read it. I think that I was
No, I
like
was more
so
busting your
engrossed with
chops.
like watching.
Yeah, it was
I
a
had
good.
every intention of reading probably, but I was like, so like you can't just like sit at a meet and
No, there's
like
really not time to, especially if
like
if you're
you
trying to
have
help
to like
Matt out and
watch.
stuff.
Well, yeah, well, I guess I could help him out, but like I was so excited and like ready to watch other people and see
Oh,
all these
dope.
awesome things. And like, dude, like every white woman of a certain age, I'm at that meet and I'm like, I could do this too. I'm seeing all these like amazing feats of strength, and I'm like, yeah, I could do this too. And then after a few meets like that, and then seeing the lift hard live easy, and I'm like, like I should do it. I should make the leap and try to dip my toe in the water. So when the sign up for this past meet went live last November, Matt took it upon himself to sign me up for a supporter membership and register me for the meet. And I just got like the confirmation email that I had been registered. And that was
That's
how he
awesome.
told me, hey, I put you in the crew and I signed you up for the meet, and sink or swim, Jess, like jump in. So next week I have my 1 year crewversary, and I'm very ready to check that off my card next week.
Hell yeah.
One step closer to the Hall of Fame. So I have only been lifting for 1 year. For the first few months, I only lifted like twice a week, so I was taking it kind of very casually, just kind of getting started. I really was starting from absolute scratch, like no kind of baseline for strength at all. I have this long history of back injuries. Um, so I was really starting from the bottom. And now I am here, having competed at the meet this past year. I did a push pull in March just to get some kind of like groundwork and like meet experience for like, the commands. Um, and then around that time, I made the switch over to equipped. I had been doing raw for that push pull. And then a few different things made me transition over to equipped lifting. So I've been doing single ply since then. That's kind of a brief history of it. Yeah.
I love it. So what about as far as consuming Massonomics podcasts? Is that something you've actually dove into, or is it kind of every now and then you'll listen
Every
to one?
now and then, yeah. Honestly, I listen to Unpaid and Underrated religiously.
Well,
Every
that's
week
awesome.
I'm tuned in here.
Well, it's because
I
we're
will.
that makes sense. I like that. Well, because you're listening,
I mean,
especially in your situation, if you're not super big into the lifting world, but you're super big into
right.
like the crew, you've
Yeah.
probably met at least half of our guests in person or more too. So this is like
Right.
people you know. So that makes me so happy to hear that you follow it that
Same.
religiously. That is awesome.
Yeah. This
Oh,
is truly the
us.
original, and Massonomics is the sister podcast.
That's what I
Ah.
tell. But I try to tell people.
Yeah, I will tune into the guys every once in a while if it's a guest that I know, or I will hop on to the recordings in the Discord and chit chat occasionally.
Oh, nice.
But I'm not as regular of a listener. So I don't know that the backlog is ever going to be in the cards for me.
As long as you
It
get as long
doesn't
as you
need
get
to
our
be.
backlog done, it'll be good.
Right.
Um, well, if anyone isn't familiar with you, where would they go to find you at on Instagram?
Oh God. For lifting, I am at Jess Says, which is JESS.SEZ. Um, that is where you can find all of my lifting content. I do have a separate book account for book reviews and just catching up with whatever books I'm reading lately. I'm not as active on that anymore. I really feel like one Instagram account is like a good level. I can't really maintain two and do them both well.
I wonder what
Not
that's
that I
like.
really do either of them well. It's just it's so
I
God, so much. Like it's just
remember one.
working a job and living your life is enough. Like
Yeah,
trying to have multiple online personas is too much.
preaching to the choir.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I
that
did.
other account is at Jess Red Receipt. So JESSREADRECEIPTS. I should have written that down, but I'm pretty sure
Yeah,
that's how you spell receipt.
we'll make Nate go find at least the crew and the lifting one. Well, I'm sure we'll tag that one in all the Instagram, all our posts and whatnot.
See, the key to multiple Instagram accounts is you let Keith do 98% of it, and then all you do is use your access to that to troll Keith.
Yeah, you did that. Fucking, I was having a conversation with Chris Mark on the Unpaid and Underrated podcast, and then Joey chimed in to essentially like didn't say it was Joey. I think Chris might have picked up on it just because of what he said, but it was just oh, it's because I respond because half the time I don't realize what page I'm on. A lot of times when I'm responding to someone's story, and Chris had shared something with that. Was that Red Pony song or something?
Yeah, you said you don't know who.
I don't.
He says he doesn't know who Chapel Roan is.
I do not know who that is. Whatever.
Oh my god!
I have no clue who that person is. I didn't know
I'm
if
a
it was
big fan of
male
Chapel
or
Roan.
female. By the name. I was like, I don't. Well, Chapel's not a name. What the fuck does that mean? That's a fucking location, not a name.
And then I responded with, "It's a great song. I'm just a grump."
Yeah. And then Chris said, "Well, this could be from Keith or Joey or something."
Yeah, yeah, that's the key. So, you just only have to do half of it and use it to troll the other person running it.
You got me. You did get me on that one. I enjoyed that.
Well, and I posted the videos from, I think it was Carp. Yeah, like I just randomly go in there
Carp's
and
was good. Yep. That was
post
really
things
funny.
to bother you. It's really good work.
That was funny because I didn't realize that was Carp's voice. Like the first couple times I watched it, I thought it was like an AI thing, and then I went back and I was like, oh yeah, that is exactly Carp's voice, but it's just like he's trying to do it in a tone. It was great.
So where does this put you for your Hall of Fame status?
This puts me at 8.
Nice.
My Hall of Fame, which is not too bad, I think, for a
pretty damn good.
That's not
yeah.
nothing.
And then next week we'll have 9 for the 1 year. And then hopefully we'll get 10 next year if we make it to the Arnold. So fingers crossed for that.
Are you counting your Brian's Choice Award?
Yes. Tanner specifically instructed me to count the Brian's Choice Award, so it has been counted.
Nice. Do you got 10 orders yet? Or is that's one to do?
Oh God, no. I mean, have I financially supported 10 orders?
Yeah.
As a total, but
I guess
myself,
if Matt has over 20, does that? I think if Matt has 20, I think you can count that. I would give that my seal of approval. But who am I?
If Matt has over 20, he is in trouble. So I hope we're not there.
That's true. Well, I guess if that's the case, then maybe 20 would count. Well, that's awesome. And then we already covered your supporting member number. What's that?
303. I did not know what it was previously. I have my shiny new gold card. I carry it with me at all times. I mean, I don't know of anyone with a higher number than me.
Oh,
which makes sense, but surely there's a few, I'm sure.
No, there's like 400. There's literally, I mean, there are at least 120 people with a higher number than you.
Right.
119 now that Gabe left.
Oh, the best part was like he did get a card mailed to him too.
Oh, of course.
No, because it was like I think it was already like in the system before he canceled. So like that's
womp womp.
Yeah, that kid's just gonna open the mail and be like, "What the fuck?" So, Big Jess, I know where you're from and where you live. But do you want to tell all our hundreds and hundreds of listeners?
Thousands of listeners.
Someday, when
so
the
me and Big Matt are from near like Niagara Falls, New York. So we are smack in the middle of Big Joey and Big Keith. It's about half an hour north of Buffalo, New York. Yeah, it's kind of a small town that we're actually in. We're born and raised in this area. Not going anywhere anytime soon. In it for life.
Nice. Yeah.
And what a better place to be than between Joey and Keith.
I mean, yeah.
I was going to say sandwich. I think you are about an hour away from me.
Or so, probably. I'm not sure.
Yeah, exactly I can get to Clifton Hills in 45 minutes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, it's not too far past that, I'd say. And probably about the same, about an hour from Keith.
Yeah.
Hour and 15, maybe.
Yeah, the one time Matt came out, he came out to buy some gym equipment in Rochester earlier in the day, and then he came back out for a lift party. So he drove to Rochester, drove back to Buffalo, drove back to Rochester, drove back to Buffalo. And I was fuck that, dude. That's not cool.
And he did take me with him many times. I have never been to Rochester.
No.
And I live 1 hour away.
You've never been to Rochester? So you guys were supposed to come out to the Lift Hard Live Easy, and you had a family thing come up, or you had to stay back. Or sorry, one of the
birthday
parties.
Party.
I think I just referenced the Lift Hard Live Easy as the party at my house, but no. Yeah, like you said, my birthday. But you had a last minute family thing come up. But so I know you didn't come to that, but did you just say you've never been to Rochester as a whole?
I don't think
Like
so. I mean, I suppose it's possible that when I was little, maybe I went to like the Strawn Museum, but
okay.
if so, I was so little that I don't remember it.
Well, I mean, there's not
So,
really that
mom, if
much.
you're listening, don't come for me.
No, there's not a. I mean, there's not a. There's not a ton here. I mean, there's not a ton that I would come here for. I guess if I didn't live here. But as
Yeah,
yeah, I
but there's
mean,
the meets, there's gyms. We have
yeah, no, I
friends out
figured.
there.
I figured. No,
Obviously,
that's
you
what I'm
know,
saying. Like, I figured you would have at least been out to a. I think because Matt almost made it to the USPA meet at Legends there a couple months ago or last month. But
yeah. Or
yeah,
did
that is
he make it?
surprising.
Or
We'll
we
get.
thought? I think we had something else going that day, but
No, he
we'll
had to.
definitely be out there one day
You guys were
together.
benching in the morning, but I did, run into his coach, Steve. It is
Oh
Steve.
yeah, Steve, our
Yeah.
buddy.
Now, as far as your lifting, does Matt do programming for you? Do you run
Yeah,
jug? Does Steve run your
yeah.
programming? What's up with that?
Um, So Matt has been my one and only coach all this time, which is really for the best. I really believe that coaching is very important for many lifters. I am too foul mouthed to have a coach. I don't think that it would be a smart choice for me to have a coach.
This
Matt has
motherfucker.
truly Matt has ruined me for coaching. I guess I could have Juggernaut. Matt used it for a time a few years ago. I think that he's got a pretty good grasp on what I need. And I think that I've come far enough that we're able to communicate back and forth pretty well.
That's
We do
great.
have our friend Steve, who is a personal trainer and coaches a few athletes with strength sports. Matt hired him and was a client of his for a time. And since then, it was leading up to the Lift Hard Live Easy OG. And then since then, we've kind of shifted into more of a training partner relationship with him. So we are giving
Okay.
each other positive feedback. He's part of our training crew that we train with twice a week.
Gotcha. So
Yeah.
Matt's just kind of winging it now, or he's someone
Yeah.
else's?
Again, I think he's got like a
Okay.
pretty good grasp on what he needs to do. But that's the great thing about being in this like training crew where we're very like regimented schedule. Everyone is in it and it's a lot of commitment to going
Hmm.
twice a week at the same time. I mean, similar to this or,
Yeah.
like any other like weekly time consuming commitment. But everyone is really good about it and everyone's very good about giving each other feedback.
Yeah, no, that's if anyone's not familiar with Jess talking about, she is in a big geared lifting group, and one of their friends has a enormous like garage building slash
Mhm.
gym or whatever that's got a monolift, a comp bench, a bunch of I'm not well, regardless, it's got a monolift and a comp bench. That's mainly what I see
Yeah,
them working out of, in 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people at a time, all wearing geared equipment and just spotting each other and you
that's so
know
kind, Steve. He thinks it's a big group. In
well
reality, sometimes it's bigger than others. Sometimes it's just maybe 4 people total. I mean,
even
that's
four
kind of like the minimum. But yeah.
as someone that likes having people in his house, I know how hard it is. It's like to come train here. I know how hard it is to even get a few people to show up religiously.
Hmm.
I can get like
Hmm.
10 people to show up once a month, but I can't get one person to show up every Sunday. So like it's
Right,
hard. So the fact that you can coordinate schedules well enough to get even 4 people together twice a week at the same like 3 hour window, that's hard.
right. It
So
is hard for sure. And I
enjoy
think
that
like
while
the
it's there
thing that
because it might not always be.
I hope so. I know they've been doing this group on roughly the schedule for a few years. Certainly like long before Matt and I joined into it. But I think an important thing is like where each of the lifters' mindsets are at. Like, are you thinking like what is best for you personally and individually as a lifter, or are you thinking about like the rising tide that raises all ships. Like everyone has to be on the same page. Like everyone is there. We are squatting. We agree as a group on like what specialty bar or what movement we're doing. Same thing for bench. There are sometimes a few people will come and do an odd lift, but still help like with spotting and running the rack. But it's an invaluable resource. I'm very grateful to have the group that we do.
No, that is very awesome. I'm envious of that. Sometimes I see it out there. So you guys, looks like you all, take advantage of it and enjoy it while it's there.
Yep.
Let's see. We got a lot of crew questions. Some of them are kind of redundant, but let's hit you. I think I'll do a least fun, most fun, and then we can segue into some crew questions if that works.
Oh boy.
So I was going to ask something about just geared lifting, but we kind of talked about that a little bit, and I'm sure we'll bring it up again. So I'm gonna put you on the
Oh, I can
spot.
talk about anything, Keith. Don't hold
Yep.
back.
So I'm gonna go. So are you familiar with this relatively new game, least fun, most fun we have?
Oh yes,
So we're gonna give
I'm
you
all about it.
a single topic, and you just tell me kind of the least fun thing about it and the most fun thing about it. So,
I'm
uh,
right.
I got this little tidbit about you. I want to know the least fun, most fun thing about it. So, teaching little kids how to swim.
That is, I just started that very, very recently. A friend of mine runs a swim school for kids. I'd say they go as young as babies, and I've seen maybe kids maybe up to like 8 to 10 ish. Um, my role is to kind of stand on the side and keep the little ones who maybe want to escape the swim class, keep them from running away. So I am not physically in the water at this point.
Okay.
I'm kind of like running guard on the side to keep everyone where they're supposed to be and keep their hands and faces out of the water if they're not supposed to be. The most fun about it is just like seeing the improvement in the kids. It's really sweet. Even like physically develop their skills as a swimmer is really rewarding. I have a few kids that are very reluctant at the start of a swim session, and I feel that I have a good grasp on how to like calm some kids down that maybe need some calming, and provide some really positive feedback and encouragement. And I can see kids come into the class crying and leave with a big smile on their face. That is definitely the most fun of it. The least fun, I can't really think of anything that's not fun about it, other than maybe just the noise. There
Yeah.
are, up to 25 or 30 kids in the pool at any time, and all you need is one screamer, man. And it's any pool is like a tiled
There's no
enclosed
acoustics in
room.
there, so it's just going to be
Right, yeah. It's
echoing
just
everywhere.
bouncing off
So
the water. So you may need to
that's a
bring
good
some
least fun
earplugs.
for
Yeah.
sure. That's probably the most accurate least fun you could have, especially if you're not like the one hands-on dealing with them. So
Oh
that's
God,
cool.
and then you have one crier, and then someone else doesn't like the noise, so then they're crying. So it can really kind of spiral out of control pretty quick.
Well, oh, I think we missed one there.
Hmm?
The one piece of Maxonomics merch that you haven't been able to get your hands on,
Oh
especially
yeah, we gotta back it up. I really want for almost nothing. I'm very lucky that I kind of like swooped in the
because Matt
Discord
has
at the
20
right
orders, you
time.
know.
Well, Matt has had a number of orders. Very few of them have been for me. He has bought me the Strawn and Silly shirt, which is wonderful, and the Nice Rack shirt, which is another one of my favorites. Those are both great blanks. They're very comfortable. I love olive green. Green is my favorite color, so I really like the Nice Rack shirt. But I swooped into the Discord at a time when Big Abby of Build Fast Formula said that she was bringing a lot of Nate Thomas's hand-me-downs to
Oh,
the
nice.
Wizard Lizzie too.
Mm.
You
And
came
I'm
back with
like,
a
ooh, I would
whole.
love his size mediums. Like I think he went from medium to large. Uh, so I got the treasure trove, and I have so many goodies in that bag. Before that, I really wanted the Massonomics Raw Power with the Buffalo because we are outside of
Oh yeah.
Buffalo, New York, which is a little ironic because we don't actually lift Raw. But I still wanted the Raw Power shirt. I guess if there's anything, if I had a genie lamp, I could have anything that I wanted. I
Well,
have
yeah.
seen Big Scans wearing a Raw Power crew neck, and I think that it looks
Mm,
real sharp. So that would be the one that I want. But I'm very, very happy with what I have, and I am not complaining.
nice. Nice. All right. You want to hit her with some of those crew questions, Joey? Any of them jumping out at you?
I'm so
Uh,
scared.
yeah, some of them are a bit, yeah, like you said, redundant. Scans
Yeah.
is old.
Yeah.
But then I have one for myself as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, so
I
Well,
just
you're
added
crew
them all
too,
because
Joey.
everyone's giving me shit for not asking my question, and I'm like, well, this is proof of I copy and paste everything, and like we can use two of them. So sorry. Keep them coming though, guys. Appreciate it.
I'll hit you with two, and then we'll save mine in case Keith has ones he wants to do. Um, would you ever go back to Raw?
Maybe. I don't think I'd be very happy about it. Um, the I'm really loving wearing the equipment at this point. I'm getting a really good groove with the bench shirts and getting a good combination for squat. I have been doing single ply. If anything, looking to go into more equipment, so going into multi-ply instead of single ply. The only time that I might consider doing raw again is depending on how things go between now and the next Lift Hard Live Easy. I really loved competing at the last one. I think I learned a lot about myself on meet day and what I need to do to support myself. I
Mm,
also think I learned like what is something that like what would make sense for me as a lifter to really invest a lot of time and energy. And one thing that I think Matt and I both learned the hard way is that it is very, very difficult to walk out squats when you are in equipment.
I can
He and I both had a really hard time with that this year. We both went 1 for 3 on squats. It was very close for Matt only making it on his third attempt.
Yeah, I did a
So
front row seat to that one.
right, it was not pretty. It was not pretty to see. We had a
Badass.
blast. We will definitely be back. Absolutely. We are both contemplating doing push pull.
Yeah.
But if we were not doing push pull in equipment, we would I mean, I don't think Matt would at this point. He is in love with equipment just like I am, but I would consider going back to like a classic raw, bringing my knee wraps out only.
Mhm.
For the sake of doing a full meet. But here's the other thing, and this is a tangent. I'm gonna have
You're
tangents all
fine.
fucking night, guys.
That's all right.
I knew I'm like, oh, this is gonna be so fun. Lift hard, leave easy. I'm so excited to see all of our friends. I'm so excited to do this full meet. This is gonna be awesome. I had a blast. I wish that I had more fun during the actual meet. I'm like a very nervous and anxious person, and I might seem kind of cool on the outside, but I am not cool at all. And I was really in my own head. And like before I knew, I blinked and squats are over. I didn't get to see any of my friends. I didn't feel that I did super well with squatting. And I was a little disappointed. I'm like, I really want to be enjoying this to, max capacity. I want to be getting all the great experience out of this that I really don't feel like I did. So next year, I'm going to try to calm the fuck down and maybe just skip squats altogether. So, so maybe coming back to raw, but that would probably be the only time is if I have to be in a meet. I'm very committed to being in a meet, but there's no monolift, and I'd have to walk out.
Spoiler: walking out raw sucks too.
I know.
It's
really
not
like
any more pleasant.
I know. Yes, I don't enjoy doing it here anymore. Just for training purposes. We're warming up raw. I do a raw training day a few times a week too. The thing with like when you're in equipment, it's just a totally different posture for your body to be in during the actual squat. And so like when you're unracking, usually your feet are kind of, shoulder width or close to it. And then you step out really far wide. So you're stepping backward and widening your feet a lot. So it's hard to find the right width and it's hard to keep your balance and blah, blah, blah. So no, I know it's not fun to walk out any kind of squat, but it's definitely easier if you were just taking like 2 parallel lines back.
Yeah.
Maybe.
You've got any amount of weight on your shoulders and you're trying to focus and you step back and your fucking plate hits the J cup or something. And like that's it, your lift is done. Like it's just ruined.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's the worst.
This is something like that maybe only a few other people, probably some other Wolfpack crew members would understand, but trying to fly for a meet and bring your equipment with you.
Yeah,
I mean, any kind of meet gear, you want to have it in your carry-on or your personal line. You don't want to risk it in a checked bag.
Not away.
Yeah.
You're bringing so much more stuff because you have a squat suit, a deadlift suit, a bench shirt. I mean, basically all we have is a singlet and a belt and knee sleeves, but you have knee wraps. You almost have double the amount of equipment. Like I could barely fit all that shit in my carry-on, let alone, oh god, yeah, that would be brutal. Especially, and then times 2 if you're competing with your partner. So like that's so much shit.
I really like Tetrised it all in, so like we made it work, and I could make it work again. But I think next time maybe we'll just push pull, or maybe we'll go raw.
Well, if you go push pull too, that just like that, that's like an extra 2 hours you can just hang out with the homies and like just like help everyone else, help your friends squat and watch. Like you could literally watch like all 3 flights of squats and just hang out,
right?
Or at least 2 of them, and then get warmed up for bench.
Yeah, I like watching. I've been to a lot of Matt's meets now where I'm just spectating and I enjoy watching, and I really hope that I can watch my friends and support and cheer people on. The other difficult part is just like the nature of the weight that I'm lifting and the weight that Matt is lifting. We are each other's primary support. I mean, he might have a few others like helping him warm up just because he's doing a lot more than I could handle myself. But I am always lifting on the platform and he's starting to get ready to warm up.
Yeah, it's hard.
Vice versa.
It's hard.
I'm trying to do my warm up for bench while he's he's out there squatting and I want to cheer for him, but I have to warm up bench and then I need to find someone there was this wonderful guy who was there last year, Cody. He accompanied Dylan Coates for the meet. And so I had never met him before. And I'm like, hi, Cody, how are you? We're complete strangers, but I need you to hand out this warm up for me in the bench shirt. Hope you know what you're doing. And he did. He was wonderful. I hope that he will be back next year, hopefully as a competitor. We'll try to get him into the crew as well.
Nice.
But yeah, it can be a little bit stressful to try to get ready while the other person's on the platform.
Yeah, no, I can imagine. Go ahead.
It is just something we kind of have to like deal with, though. We are competing in another push-pull Saturday of this week, so just a few days from now. So more experience of jumping back and forth with each other.
Is that something you guys are going into fully peaked, or just kind of jumped into last minute?
Oh no, just keeping it kind of casual. For my own like sanity, I have to try to like be as fucking chill as possible, because if I get like really worked up, it's not going to be good. It's not going to be like
suddenly
really
you'll be like Keith at most powerlifting meets.
I was waiting for you to comment.
Oh my god!
Frick.
Side note, tangent again. I saw the Strength Co video of all the footage that Grant and what was his guest's name? The
Connor.
guy with the camera, Connor. I knew it was a C.
Big Connor run. He's part of Strength Co, I believe. He's
he
runs the Cali warehouse, I believe.
Right. He came up with the camera as I was finishing warming up for bench, and he's like, and I just like got off the bench and I just see him there, and he's like, oh, like I like had a little jump scare, and he's like, what advice do you have for someone going to their first meet? And I'm like, oh, just my eye is twitching right now. Hey, cool, just keep it, like, and I don't be like, dude, I don't fucking know. This is my first meet too. Like, don't ask me for any advice. I just went 1 for 3 on squats. I am not the person to ask. What a guy.
Toby wants to know why your squat face looks like you've just seen a ghost.
Oh my god, I am like haunted by every bad decision I've ever made, haunted by all my ancestors. Toby's not wrong. It's not a good squat face. It is just, I think, my normal face, maybe with like the eyes a little bit wider. But that is just, I don't think my face really changes a lot.
Well, you pack your neck, which I can't do. So like I tried to pack my neck once, and I've had severe neck pain ever since. So never do that again. But I know you and Matt both are really good at getting the
It is part of it. It is part of when you're
essentially
squatting. Right. So like if you are raw squatting, you have like your body is more angled. Especially like the lower the bar is, the further you're pitched forward. But like a lot of times geared squatting is exactly the opposite. You're trying to stay as upright as possible. That's just kind of the nature of it. So we have to pack our neck, otherwise you'll pitch forward and it's not a good situation. So I think just the act of like moving my head back just makes me look like I'm like recoiling for something. I wish that I could change it. Although I will say we've got a new guy at the barn with us, using the monolift, getting into equipment for the first time, and man, he's got a horrible squat face. So I no longer have the worst one. His is worse than mine. So sorry, Tommy, if you're out there, I'm calling you out by name. You've got a worse squat face than me.
Keith, do you have any you think look interesting?
What Toby, the next one here, it's what does Matt yell when you're deadlifting? That's not hips.
But you're locking cue.
Fuck you, Toby. Fuck you, whoever asked that question. He loves to yell hips at me. HIPS, hips. Against my wishes, he is always hooting and hollering the word hips at me. I don't really feel like I need that cue. I don't think I have a problem with my hips. I think that everything I do is pretty much perfect. So it is just unfortunate that he feels the need to call that. But recently, he changed hips to tit, TITS, which is also unfortunate because this is a family-friendly Instagram account. I certainly am never swearing or flipping off the camera. I always have really good behavior, so it's very unfortunate.
I did have reservations about sharing that double-fisted finger picture, but I was like, I mean, she's the one that posted it, or Matt posted it, so whatever.
Yeah, Matt did post it, but I did do it, so I have
Yeah,
to.
yeah, that's
I
on you.
have no one to blame but myself for that one.
And I think the question there was, how do you not die laughing? How do you maintain your composure when the first time he yells tits?
Oh, I just never really take him too serious.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I think it was everything because again, like I mentioned, I have this kind of history of like back issues. And if I lose my bracing while I am especially deadlifting, I could really fuck my shit up. So it is everything to just kind of like keep it cool, uh, get the bar back on the ground and then go off.
All right, Keith, you handle one more?
Out of that grouping, yep. Big Jen wants to know your favorite book of all time and how many times you've read it,
Oh
give
my
or take.
God.
Because
Big
I definitely
Jen,
couldn't.
how could you do this to me? I read
That's
a lot of books.
you do. You got me beat.
I do read a lot of books. This year I am at 119 so far.
I'm
My
only
goal was
13.
120, so I'm practically there. Um, but as for like a favorite book, I knew that this would be coming from someone, so I made like a little list of like my favorite books. Um, but the book that I keep coming back to, and I read it over and over, and I try to recommend it on everyone, I guess I'm going to go with that one. It's called The Last House on Needless Street by Catriona Ward. Um, it's kind of meant to be a bit of like a creepy horror. It's unsettling. It is not gory. It is not going to keep you up at night. It's kind of a good like beginner level, but I read it and loved it. I have tried to force it on every book club possible since then because I have so much to talk about. I mean, I should have brought it down to have as a prop just for show. The book has like about 300 pages, maybe 322 pages. And every time there's something in there that I like want to refer back to or want to notate like how many times this is happening, I put like a little like sticky note kind of a little like sign here marker, a little tab on the side of the book. And in this book that has 320 pages, I believe I have about 450 of these stickers. Like I have something to fucking
Wow.
yap about for every page of this book. I can keep going back to it. I love seeing people read it for the first time and go through the process. So that I'm going to say is probably my favorite book. Is it like really like I think it has won some awards, but is it like a literary masterpiece? I mean, I don't think that many people would say this is their all-time favorite book. I definitely can give a lot of recommendations for a lot of different books, but that one is one that I keep coming back to. So that's what I'm going to go with for Big Jen.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's your favorite book, not the best book you've ever read or the book that's best for most people. Like it's it's like the Orange Glaze. Like, what's your favorite book? It doesn't matter what fucking anybody else thinks.
Right?
There is actually another one that just caught my eye, but I think I'll do that one after I do mine.
You build the suspense.
And mine is are you finally ready to tell us what the Brian's Choice Award was?
Oh, yes. I'm ready to spill. I cannot keep my mouth shut about it. I was so surprised to win that award. I did not think that would be coming. I was really, I mean, me and Nat were not so secretly rooting for strongest couple award.
Yeah.
For the meet.
Well, if you guys had got a couple more squats, you might have won it, right?
I know. And it went to the Andersons, who were just a lovely couple. So I do not begrudge them their strongest couple award. It was well earned. Leah Anderson of the couple very famously gave birth on the day of the Lift Hard Leave Easy one. And so her husband Ryan was not able to compete in the first one. Longtime mathematics gem, longtime friends of Tommy and Tanner. So it was great to see her competing, and they did amazing. They won the award. Congratulations to them. And I was just sitting on the side with Matt, and then they called me for Brian's Choice, and I was totally bamboozled by this. And so Tommy was the one who handed out the award. This is amazing. We take the picture. Everything settles down. Everyone's packing up to leave. I go up to Tommy like, Tommy, I gotta know why do I have the Brian's Choice Award? They never really talked about like what the criteria were. And he says, Jessica, I don't know. Tanner decided that you should have the Brian's Choice Award. He literally he finished Strongman. He packed up.
Tanner was gone. Tanner was gone for the entire award ceremony.
Yeah.
He was fucking moving
According to
stones the whole
Tommy,
time.
Right. According to Tommy, Tanner gave all these beautiful carved wooden plaque awards to Tommy and said, I don't care who gets what, or like you use your druthers, you pick who is going to who. Like I trust your decision, except for Brian's choice that's going to Jess Says. And so, but Tommy's got no other details. So I hunted Tanner down at the zoo. Tanner, what the hell? Where did this come from? And he told me that the short list, like everyone who wanted, it's all narrowed down, and the short list are the people who are real Taylor Swift fans. So that kind of put me in the running. That it's really I mean, Brian, as we all know, a brief history of time.
I was hoping you would do this. Yeah, I was hoping you'd explain this.
Brian J 1008, our boy, left. I know he was never even in the crew. He was just a follower of the Massonomics page. Him and 60,000 other people.
According to him, he was never a follower, and he didn't know who we were.
Allegedly.
Yeah, I know, right?
I know. I beg to differ. But he was unhappy with the Taylor Swift meme that was posted, and he said, "This is ridiculous." Unfollowed, something to that effect. He refollowed, he unfollowed, he refollowed again. It's a tale as old as time, the old cat and mouse with Brian J 1008. So they had this award made in his honor. Allegedly, they reached out to Brian to ask what his criteria were for the award. I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, his response was not suitable for the actual award. Not that it was like inappropriate or anything. I think he just said whoever wins the award should not be a follower of Massonomics. But that's like no one.
Yeah.
No one.
You wouldn't be there.
Right. You wouldn't be at this meet if you were not a follower of Massonomics. But here's one thing about me, if you haven't got this. I cannot leave anything the fuck alone. I am nosy as hell. I wanted to know. I'm looking online. I'm trying to find all. So a few times, I think once on Thursday and once on Friday, I went up to Tanner. I'm like, Tanner, what are we doing for Brian's choice? Like, what did Brian ever write back? What was his answer? And he said, like, this is kind of the situation. Brian said it's got to be someone who's not a follower, right? And Tanner's like, well, I don't want everyone to unfollow, as if we would, right? Yeah. As if anyone would unfollow for the sake of winning the award. And I'm like, well, I'll do what I can because I can't leave anything alone. And I've tried to find out everything that I can find out about all the people at the meet because of my personality. So I went back to the hotel on Thursday night. I looked at the roster. I looked at Instagram. I found one person who I will not name on this podcast who was not a follower, did not follow Massonomics, was only a fan of Stensland powerlifting, but did not follow Massonomics. And I'm like, well, this is one person. So I went back to Tanner at his house on Friday and said, this is one person. If this is the criteria that you're going with, I have done this legwork. So here you go. And he said, okay, well, I've got this other idea. Maybe someone who likes fishing or cigars, because those are other things in Brian J 1008's bio. And I'm like, oh yeah, like that's a good idea too. That's much better than rewarding someone for not following the podcast. And that was where we had left it. But I think between my undying love of Taylor Swift, and I don't care what any of you have anything to say about it, not you two, everyone listening.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I've made it very clear.
No, Joey and Keith, I have no beef with. Anyone at home who doesn't like Taylor Swift, I don't want to fucking hear it. Okay. But between me liking Taylor Swift and me weaseling into the business for this one, I think that is what sealed the deal for me.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I came home with a big award.
That's awesome. That's good stuff. So did you have to leave a bench shirt out in Aberdeen so there was room for the award, in the bag to come back?
It was a very tight pack. Oh my God, it was very stressful.
I bet it was. The worst is the worst is trying to, because you guys didn't leave. You didn't leave Sunday, did you? When you drove too. So like the worst is being drunk, trying to pack your bag with like sweaty knee sleeves and shit to go to the fucking, to like get up at 5 a.m. to fucking drive to the airport.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is brutal. So
it was a tough situation. Like not only just everything fitting in the suitcase, but everything like meeting the weight requirement. I
Oh
believe
yeah,
on the
yeah.
way back we did have to like unpack a suitcase, move some things around to get everything to fit. But Matt has done this before. I think for the first year, I don't think he did it last year, but in a pinch, he will wear his weightlifting belt on the plane. Like there's no rule
Mm,
against what you wear,
yeah.
just about what's in the bag. So I mean, and that's not very comfortable. So I give him a lot of credit, but he will put his lever belt or whatever on the whole plane ride for the sake
That
of
sounds
making weight
miserable.
for the suitcase. Oh yeah,
Yeah, I found a
good for
small
me.
hack for that, and I have my fanny pack and my carry-on. But I
Mm,
will also wear an extra, like a large fanny pack, so it'll be stuffed
right.
with fucking everything, like wallets and Zins and like
Surprised
everything.
they let you count that because usually
It's on
that
my
counts as
body.
that's two carry-ons. I don't know.
It's on my
They're
body.
really
It's a
strict about
purse,
that.
Right.
technically, right?
I've done that too.
Even a
Like I will
curse.
have like a fanny pack
Oh well,
and I
it's
have
just it's your
a separate
personal item though.
personal
Yeah,
item.
you can
Yeah.
have one person, but you couldn't carry a
No, it's a
backpack on
different
top of that.
personal
No.
item.
Yeah,
No, but like,
I would have my backpack, which is my carry-on, right? And I would have my fanny pack. And sometimes if you're allowed a personal item, they don't count the fanny pack as a personal item because it's literally on
Right.
your body. It might as well be your wallet in your pocket
Yes.
because it's not taking
This
up any
past
space
year
other than my gut.
we had a checked bag each and we had the personal item. I had the fanny pack in addition to the personal item. I would have been prepared to put the fanny pack in the personal item,
Yeah,
but yes, the fanny pack did not count somehow.
that's the
Probably because
hack.
it's worn on your body. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the travel hack. So this one actually comes from, correct me if I'm saying his name right, Matt Sesney. Um, he wanted, and this is actually something that we never got to discuss after the fact. You had predictions for the Lift Hard Live Easy.
Oh, yes. This is a
How
long.
how accurate are any of those?
Okay, I'm going to skip right to the end to answer the question, and I will back the train up if necessary. I went back and looked at my predictions of how everyone would perform at the Lift Hard Live Easy. For the men, 18% of the people that I predicted a total, I was within 10 pounds of their actual total.
shit.
And it was 58% that I was within 30 pounds, either up or down. So I feel like I did pretty good.
I'd
There
say
were a
so.
few outliers, but most people I was pretty close. For the women, obviously there are fewer women, so it's not as statistically significant. But 30% of the women I was within 10 pounds, and about the same, about 53%. I was within 30 pounds for their total. I am not one of those. I thought that I would do much better than I did.
Well, yeah,
But most people
one
did
squat did
really,
not.
really well. So I was really glad to see everyone get out there. I mean, I looked at people's lifting history, their injury history, previous meets, what their goals were, that they had set any in Discord or on Instagram, to put those predictions together. And a lot of people were right at where I thought they would be, and a lot of people were much higher. So I was really, really happy to see how everyone did at the end.
Did
Did
I
the
But
did I screw your statistic by sandbagging my deadlift?
no,
No.
you did
I
fine.
I
Everyone did fine. I
I
remember
sand
like a few outliers, but I think you did.
I
Everyone did fine.
sandbagged it by 20 pounds.
I
I was
think,
like, I was going in there expecting 450 at least, but when I realized I was just gonna finish first anyway, I was like, fuck
yeah.
it, 425. Like I'm not hurting myself for not a
I
PR, and I'm
mhm.
gonna place first anyway because I'm the only master or submasters here. So
Yeah, I don't remember you specifically, Joey,
of
being an
course,
outlier. There were 43 men. So out of the 43 men,
yeah,
I'm not sure exactly where you were in the over under.
yeah.
Um, but
I
I was
don't
just happy to see everyone compete, and no one really got too injured,
good.
and no one, everyone walked out of there in one piece, and that is the ultimate goal of the meet. No one getting really seriously hurt.
So,
Right.
There was maybe more vomiting than I hoped there would have been.
Oh my
Maybe
god, yeah.
Scott Dodd.
what
Well, and
was
that
it?
Could have done without that. Hopefully that's over for next year.
What was a bigger
But
resource going into for your research purposes? Is the open powerlifting or the Road to the Lift Hard Live Easy video series?
oof. Um, both very important, both for very different reasons, right? Like I love the video series, really helped me get everyone's names and faces straight. And there were some people who, despite all of my searching, I really could not find
Same.
definitively leading into the meet. So then I felt really good about who's who. Open powerlifting, though, I mean, What a resource. We don't
Absolutely.
deserve open powerlifting. I love
It
open
didn't
powerlifting.
exist when I got into powerlift. Like it's like 5 years.
Really?
I mean, I don't
You're dating yourself, Keith.
if only. I don't know. I don't think it's more than 5 or 6 years old. I know
Really?
the
Wow.
other, like my first couple meets, like they're in there now because I like send all the results in to like the email and
Mhm.
shit. But like there was nothing that I knew of until at least a couple years into my lifting career. So I want to say like
Wow, that is so interesting.
2018, 19, maybe. I mean, if I'm wrong, someone correct me, but it wasn't readily available, and I didn't know about it at least. And I'm pretty like in that world, so I don't know. But yeah,
Hmm.
it's an amazing resource.
Oh
I think
yeah.
I saw something the other day. They were talking about like if we did ads, we could actually, if we just ran like a couple ads or whatever, it would create
Hmm.
like $80,000 of revenue, and we could actually just like hire two guys to do this full time, essentially.
Right.
And I was like, oh, that'd be cool. Like, I wouldn't be upset to see a couple ads if it meant like they could actually not have to just do it on the weekends and like their
Right.
personal time, because like that's got to be like this
What an
sucks.
undertaking. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would not be fun. Yeah, but I am on open powerlifting all the time, unfortunately. Sorry, everyone who feels that they have a right to privacy, but not with me because I am out there. I am watching all the time. So the whole like the predictions like that uh that is me telling on myself for being a fucking creep. But I feel that I have like a good, I don't know, I started with good intentions. Back the train up. So Matt signs me up for this meet. I have done nothing up until that point to do any kind of lifting or prepare at all. I was very nervous, very anxious, had a lot of like imposter syndrome. And I'm like, I am so afraid of public failure that all I want to do is like go into this meet, put up some like respectable, modest, but like decent numbers. Like I had very, very modest goals of what I could achieve at this meet. And I'm like, I need to know that I'm not going to be laughed off the platform. Would anyone do that? Absolutely not. Okay. I know that. I knew that then, but logically, like, it's not sinking in to the gray matter up here. Um, so I made the spreadsheet. I didn't make it. Okay. If you go on Open Powerlifting, you can download anything as an Excel spreadsheet, right? And I have a lot of free time at work sometimes. So I'm just going to throw that out there. I have time to ruminate and think about things. So I downloaded the last Lift Hard, Live Easy, sorted out the people who weren't on the roster, put the new people on the roster who had not been on there previously, just kind of clean it up a bit, type in the new people, like roughly where their lifts are at. I look at Open Powerlifting, I look at Instagram. I mostly did this just for the women, to see like where I would fall if I'm in like a good range. I don't know.
That must have been when
I
you
have
thought
no
you were still a
justification.
raw lifter then, because like it's all skewed and
Right.
it's like completely irrelevant when you're a geared lifter, because I don't think there was any
Let me
other.
be clear, my raw numbers are also dog shit. Like I am not very good. I am still very much just a beginner. I'm here to have a good time.
Mhm.
I am not really here to break any records or even like, I just want to have a good time.
Absolutely.
Now, but then I was very nervous. I'm like, this is going to be really embarrassing for me. Um, but I started just kind of keeping track. And then like a few months goes by and I see another one of the chips. She competes. I'm like, oh, I got to go update the numbers so I know where everyone's going to be. And I just kept fucking doing that. And I don't know why I really did that. And then it kind of shifted. I'm like, okay, it's maybe like March, April, May. I have that one push pull under my belt. I'm like, I feel okay. I feel like I'm going to do a job. Maybe not a great job, but a job at the meet. But wait, Jess, there's more. What if I go to this meet and I do okay at the meet, but I don't fucking know anyone there and I just stand in the corner all by my lonesome the whole time? Like now I need to know how many people can I get to know for this meet. So then I make a list, then I include the men. I've got a separate sheet for the men, put all the men in alphabetical order, sort them roughly by age range, age class, weight class, not even like the numbers just at this point. And then like I'm writing their Instagram handle or like any kind of anecdotal information I know, just something that if I am like at the like waiting in line for the bathroom, I'm next to this guy. I'm like, I want to know who that person is and have something to talk about. Um,
You're the Batman of powerlifting competitions.
I know it's so bad. This is real Keith behavior, respectfully. Like I know this is some Keith shit. I know that. Me
I
and Keith
tip
were
I tip
kindred
my hat to
spirits.
you. It was a lot
So
of work.
then, right, then
It's a lot of
ops,
work to know people.
the whole ops conversation starts happening in the Discord, and people need an opponent for the meet. They need someone to
Oh, I
beef
forgot
with.
all about
And
that.
I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Like this is your
I've got
rival.
this
Yeah,
list.
yeah, yeah.
I've got the list already here. And I'm like, how hard would it be to just kind of guess what a total would be and pitch people against each other? And I really had a lot of fun with that. I used those powers for good. I definitely will be doing it again in 2025. So if you don't want an op, let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to take this bigger and better than before.
That's hilarious.
I found that personally, I found the hardest part was like using the initial roster and being like, all right, none of these fuckers are even coming. Like a third of these
I
people
know.
aren't on the roster anymore. So then I'm like, delete because like mainly for the trying to get the video series of the Road to
Mhm.
Lift Hard. It's like, but that gave me like a really good understanding of who all was going to be there and who all dropped
Yeah,
last minute and who all because added last minute and like 10 people that just have Instagram but don't respond or the
right.
handful that leave you on red and you're like, okay, cool. I guess I don't need to talk to you.
Right. Yeah.
So,
What a labor of love, Keith. Like I feel
well,
like I thanked
I'm
you then, but I
inspired
need
by
to
you,
thank you
Jess. We're now the
again.
funny thing is we're both just gonna feed off each other's energy and just be like super
Yeah.
stalkerish going into next year
Yeah.
also, it seems like. So good stuff for us.
Really getting other people's business. Hell yeah.
Absolutely.
Cannot wait.
So we are almost
Yeah,
at the hour and a half. We should probably start doing some of these other questions here,
What?
Keith.
I
yeah.
have all night. I'm having a blast. So
I
I'm in no
do
rush. Let's have it.
um well that kind of goes against what I saw one of your nicknames being. Who calls you Stressica?
Me.
Oh, nice. I love it. That's a
No,
self
Matt came up with Stress Guy, I believe.
I
He
love
did not
that's the
write that.
great name. I had to read it a couple times. Be
Jessica.
like, what is? Oh, Stressica's because she has stress and anxiety. That's a good one.
Oh God, I am always pulling my fucking hair out. I mean, I think every couple, maybe not every couple, but most couples, you have a type A, you have a type B. Like you've
Yeah,
got
for sure.
someone who's like a chill golden retriever, and you have someone who is pulling their eyebrows out one at a time with stress, and that is definitely me. And Matt he's ready to call me out on that. And Stressica is a title that I live up to. I can own that.
Uh, did you want to get into some games, or do you want to go into the Matt and Jessica submitted stuff, Joey? Where you at?
Uh, I don't know anymore. Sniff into the microphone.
So he's giving up.
No, absolutely not. There's just a lot here.
So a lot of reading
No.
stuff.
Yeah, a lot of stuff about books. Like I feel like we've actually touched on most of this stuff.
Yeah,
We could do games.
cool. I'm gonna hit her with a little FMK then.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
So it's one that multiple people submitted some variation or another of for the FMK topic this week. So we're gonna go with the New York Times games. I know you guys got a whole
hell
thread
yeah.
for that. So
I
what
was
are
hoping
those? That's
someone bring that up.
Connections, Wordle, and Mini, whatever that is.
Yeah.
I don't know what any of these are. So I guess have at it and
Okay.
give them the old FMK.
I'm so glad you asked. Had a prepared answer for this.
Nice.
So the mini is the mini New York Times crossword. It is roughly the same difficulty every week. Just maybe 10 to 15 crossword words,
Gotcha.
clues to make one grid. Uh, Connections is a game where you have 16 different words and need to group them into 4 groups of 4, depending on different characteristics of the words or phrases, their meanings, alternate definitions. It can be very tricky. And Wordle, I think most people know Wordle. It is roughly kind of like a hangman style game where you have to guess a 5-letter word and you have 6 guesses to get it, and you have clues depending on what your guesses are. I am unfortunately going to kill Wordle. I like the Wordle, but like I like the other ones more. So sorry, Wordle. Wordle's the OG, but I got to keep it moving. I do fuck with the mini. I really like the mini. I like the way that it has developed in the Crew York Times Games subthread in the Discord because it's gotten very competitive. We have a leaderboard, and now we are actively racing each other to see how fast we can complete this mini crossword. And anytime that I have the chance to win against a group of friends of mine, I'm really into that. So I will fuck with the mini. But connections has my heart. A trickster. Every day is a new adventure with connections. Sometimes it's easier than others. I think I've got a good strategy. I think that I'm really pretty good at connections and at the mini. Maybe not so good at the Wordle. because I treat it like a horoscope, which I shouldn't. I should kind of stick to a better strategy. So that's my FMK. I am fucking with Minnie, marrying connections, and killing Wordle. Sorry.
Sold. Take it. Well done.
It means nothing to either of you. So you're both like, I can see your eyes
No.
orange blazing over. You
I
are out of it.
know. Nice, Harkin. No, I know a lot. I know there's how many people are in that sub Discord, I guess, if you will.
Subthread. I mean,
It is a sub
I'd
thread
say
of
maybe.
Massonomics, or is it a completely
Yeah,
separate?
it is like a separate thread off of like the general thread
Gotcha.
in the Discord. I'd say we have maybe 20, less than 20, give or take. Some more active than others. Even I am not super everyday posting in there because I'm usually playing while I'm working. But then I got to sit on my phone and update the
Mm-hmm.
Discord, and then I get in trouble for not working at my job. So, but yeah, I'd say there's a good group of us. I'm glad that some of my Career Times homies wrote that question in so that I could yap about that.
Nice.
I got a couple of these Mount Rushmores,
All right.
but I'm gonna throw you a swerve.
Oh no!
Yep. You said you had prepared answers.
I know.
So,
now you're gonna make me think.
Yep. I want your Mount Rushmore of Taylor Swift covers. So people that have done covers of her songs that you've enjoyed.
I don't even know that I know any.
Yeah.
I can't, off the top of my head. This is why you got to go with the pre-approved questions.
No,
Joey.
never.
Off the top of my head, I can't think of any. I can think of a few songs that Taylor Swift has covered, but I can't think of any songs that people have covered of Taylor Swift.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't the opposite vibe. I can only really think of one.
That one would make you have to look stuff up.
Yeah. We don't have time for that.
Yeah. So I'll say all four are the Taylor Swift goats. So your Mount Rushmore, the Taylor Swift albums or eras.
Uh-huh. Okay. This is, I'm going to keep it very brief because I know we have to keep moving. But I also have a spreadsheet for this. I do love an Excel spreadsheet. I knew that I would come on and I'm like, I have this lore of being a Taylor Swift fan. I've got to talk about this. So I made an Excel spreadsheet of every song from every album from Taylor Swift. And I ranked all the songs like 1 through 4, gave them like a rating, and then used that criteria to like find the average, mean, median, and motorboat, if you will, of the Taylor Swift albums to find like scientifically which ones are like my favorite. So my Mount Rushmore is Folklore, which was released in 2020, Red, which came out in 2012, Midnights, which was 2022, and Sparks Fly, which was 2010. So a bit all over the board. Truly, like the ratings are pretty similar between the highest and the least rated. Like I'm pretty much a fan of all of the albums, but it's very hard to narrow it down to a top 4 because I think we have 10 or 11 albums in total. And then we get into like, we have the Taylor's versions of the albums, like the original versus the new re-release of it. So it was a lot of thinking that went into that. And I did not do a lot of work at my job those days that I was putting that together.
That's all right. All right, Keith. Did pretty good there. Do you want to hit us up with unpaid and underrated?
Yeah, so Big Jess, this is a relatively new segment we've instilled in the podcast. We're going to give you, 6 to 8 handpicked topics specifically for you, and it's your job to use little druthers and hit us with yes, I think that's unpaid, or yes, I think that's underrated. So you ready?
Okay. We'll try to keep it straight. I have a cheat code, bad and good. I have that written down, so I know what means what.
So number 1 here, unpaid or underrated, bench shirts ripping mid-set.
Oh my God. Oh, that was like one of the scariest things I've ever seen live. Matt was benching with a bench shirt. Long story, but it ripped while he was wearing it. It's hanging up behind me next to Taylor Swift, the Queen. That is definitely unpaid. I will do anything to avoid that happening again. That was in specifically a shirt that is made out of denim. I think that is kind of a characteristic of that material. It is prone to ripping, and sometimes you'll have that on them big jobs. So definitely unpaid. Hopefully, we never have to talk about it again, and it never happens to anyone that I care about. So
Mhm.
unpaid for sure.
And you and Steve were side spotters on that, I believe, right?
Yes.
So
Yep.
that had to be scary as shit.
Yeah, Steve was nearby. Me and
Oh, he
another
wasn't the side.
friend. I
Okay,
was
it
on
was
the
you.
other side. He was there, and thank God he was. I felt so much better with just having everyone around that could help out. Matt had, I don't know, maybe 4 plates on the bar. He's benching, and all of a sudden he gets maybe like an inch or two off the chest. The whole shirt rips, and that weight just kind of drops. I mean, it's the tension in the shirt that is supporting the lift.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely not weight that Matt could easily like recover from ripping the shirt and be able to press raw.
Mhm.
He's a very strong dude, but that kind of is very shocking to the system.
Yeah,
So
no, for sure.
we all had to be on our game and catch that. Not that I certainly am not that strong myself. I'm just there to try to keep it off of Matt's chest. And our center, our handoff guy, he's probably capable of upright rowing 405 pounds. He's a big guy. We all came together, and Matt did not get hurt. But
Good.
it took a long time to settle down after that.
Yeah, I
I
can
was
imagine. Yeah,
very scared.
remember seeing that video a couple weeks ago or whatever it was, and I think I even asked Steve about it when I saw him in person at the meet, and he was like, "Yeah, my asshole puckered up pretty tight on that one."
Oh yeah,
So,
all of us.
uh,
We all felt that way. Yeah.
all right, unpaid or underrated Goodreads, the app slash website. If anyone's not familiar with that, maybe tell them what it is.
Goodreads is like a really underwhelming social media that revolves around books. So it's kind of like a conglomerate.
It's social media for nerds.
It
In a
really
good way.
is.
In a good way.
The concept is
it's
really
IMBD for
good.
books.
Yeah, it's similar. I mean, you have a profile, you can add friends, you can like and comment on other people's updates, but the updates are only like, this is what I want to read, this is what I am reading, this is what I finished reading. So there, I
This is
do
what I
like that it's
rated it.
like date. This is what I rated it. You don't have to rate things. You don't have to do anything. You could just have a profile and lurk.
You have to rate
Um,
everything.
I'm pretty active in Goodreads, more so than on my book Instagram account. I use it to keep track of all my shit. Um, as an app, as a social media, it's kind of underwhelming. It's kind of glitchy sometimes. So I'm still going to say underrated because I wish that more people would use it. I have a dear friend in one of my book clubs who just has a note on her notes app
Oh
where she
God, that's
keeps
so
track
annoying.
of everything. Oh my God.
No,
And she
just
reads
fucking
a lot. I'm like,
use the
what are you
goddamn
doing?
app. It's so much easier.
Just do something.
And it's been around
Goodreads is
for
not the only
like
one.
20 years. Yeah, I know there's some others, but
There are
Goodreads
a
is the
few
one.
others.
Goodreads is the one that'll
Yeah,
probably last the longest because it actually has money
I
behind it
think
and
so.
stuff. So
Yeah.
it should outlive our lifespan.
I don't know if it is owned by Amazon, but somehow it is like affiliated. Like you
Yeah,
can
I think
click,
it's.
if you are looking at a book's profile, you can like click a button, it will take you into Amazon to purchase the book.
I would.
Um,
I would say the most unpaid thing about it from my end is like it always is freaking sending me emails as soon as I finish a book, and it's like trying to get me to like, read the next one. And I was like, yeah, I've already got shit ready to go. Like, stop sending me emails. I'm sure that's a thing I could click and get rid of, but I don't know.
I think you
But
could. I think you could.
but
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 I
I love
support you complaining about it.
but I love Goodreads. It is a great concept, and it being able to track every single like as someone with OCD and fucking liking like tracking data, it's very awesome to be like, oh, I've read fucking 500 books in my life, and I've read 20 this year, and it's just being
Mm-hmm.
able to like track all that is amazing. All
Oh yeah.
right, so unpaid or underrated Wegmans.
Ugh, I'm torn. I'm loyal to Western New York. I'm gonna say underrated. However, it is very rare that you will catch me at a Wegmans. I am at a Wegmans for one of two purposes. One, to get Greek yogurt because their house brand of Greek yogurt is the only one that I will use, or two, to have a Wegman sub. I love a Wegman sub. It's like a party trick of mine that I can eat a whole one. Like they are big. Not This is no Subway $5 foot long. Okay, this is a big boy. This is a thick ass sub, and I do like to eat it. So I'm gonna say underrated for the subs. They have a lot of like specialty items, but it's pricey.
It
And
is
I am a
very.
cheap ass bitch. I am nosy. I am. I run my mouth. I swear too much, and I am a cheap hoe. I am not willing to spend Wegmans prices most of the time.
You guys need to get a Costco out there.
I think that one is under construction.
Oh, there you go.
I've never had a chicken bake, so I would really like it, but I have a Sam's Club membership already. I definitely can't justify both.
Well, yeah, but if
So
you
I would have
try
They
to
work,
pick
Costco
one.
once, and it might be one or the
but
other.
they work. I think you can use the Sam's Club at Costco.
Oh, is that a thing?
Is that true?
I've heard
Mm.
because I know when I'm there, they have a thing that says "We Are," and it'll be like Price Club, Costco, Sam's Club, even in
Okay.
You know,
Canada.
I hope that you are right, but I don't know that you are. I'm going to
Yeah.
labor under the impression that you are right until
Mhm.
someone tells me otherwise, but I'm not sure about that. We'll we'll come back to that one.
I've
Yeah.
actually heard, and I could be
One of the
wrong
Davids will
here.
Google it for us and let us know.
Yeah,
Hopefully,
I'm
I
not
One
don't
of
I'm
them.
not doing
Please,
that live on a
please do,
podcast,
guys.
Googling something. But I've also heard that there isn't a Costco at all in New York State.
What
I feel like there is one somewhere.
the
There
fuck?
might even be one like in like downstate area. Let's
Somebody
talk about
said
what
that to
down.
me.
Who's are you being funny?
No, somebody legitimately said that to me, and then I was just like, I don't know about that,
Do you think there's
and
a
then I
Costco?
didn't look it up. Costco, New York State. I am going to Google that.
There's a fucking one for a mile from my house, dude. You know that.
Yeah, so somebody fucking lied to me.
Well,
Lawrence, there's one in Lawrence and Rochester. Yeah,
yes.
somebody lied
Yeah,
to me.
that's really. I thought you were being funny because like there's literally a Costco a block from like it is like 0.9 miles from my house.
That's
Wow.
hilarious. Yeah, okay, so somebody lied to me, and there you go. Now you have a reason to go to Rochester.
There you go.
Perfect.
Yeah.
There it is. We also have a BJ's, but I'm not fucking with that. I gotta stick to one or the other. I cannot have all of the bulk warehouse style memberships.
Well,
No, now you
according to
just
Joey, they're all interchangeable.
yeah. Well, now you can just go to Rochester, visit Keith, see if your Sam's Club membership
That's
works.
true.
Like this sounds like a
Come
like
hang out at
trip.
the No Wine Cellar. That's we're
Two
doing the
birds, one stone.
next lift
Get
party.
two
Will
birds
well,
stoned at once.
I know I won't see Matt the rest of the year because
Yeah.
he's gonna be in the fucking woods hunting. But the Saturday after Thanksgiving, we'll have another lift party. But I'm sure he'll be in the woods. But you're more than
I'm not
welcome to come
sure
out.
about that. He and I both hunt, but I'm not. We don't have plans at this point to be so the one after Thanksgiving because Thanksgiving is late this year. Thanksgiving's the
Yeah, it
28th,
is.
so we're
Yeah.
talking
So like November
like
1st or
December
something.
8th.
No,
Right.
like 2 days after Thanksgiving. Sorry, like literally.
Oh.
Yeah, like the Saturday, like 2 day. Yeah, so
We'll come
not
back to that. I'll put
cool
it in the
beans.
calendar. I do love the calendar, so I'll see what's
Cool.
going on. I'll let you know.
Is it the calendar app or do you have a separate calendar?
It is the calendar app. I am a big fan of Google Apps. Sorry if Keith wanted to bring this up for unpaid and underrated, but I do
Oh no,
love
we're
the
good.
Google suite of apps.
I
Matt
don't
and I
even know
have
what that
like
means. I saw that and I didn't know what it means. I don't what's
yeah,
Google.
so like Google Drive,
Oh, well, okay. Google Sheets,
that's
Google
like an
Docs,
app.
Google. I got you.
Yeah,
Yeah, that makes
Sheets,
more.
Docs, the calendar,
Yeah, my wife
Maps,
likes Google Calendar.
Gmail. It's all like interchangeable.
Yeah,
So Matt and I have a shared Google Calendar, so I can put something in and it pops up on his phone, and vice versa.
Mhm.
Having like a family calendar digital, everywhere you go, if you're on the computer at work, like me, not working, if you're on your phone, wherever you
Who are
are,
you, Big
you can
Tanner?
link it with Google Maps. So if you're going somewhere, it will let you know when it's time to leave because it's all integrated. So
Mhm.
I'm a big fan of that.
Integrated,
Okay.
like all the superstores around here.
Exactly.
Okay. Unpaid or underrated dimmer switches.
um, I this is my druthers. I don't have a huge preference. We do have them in almost every light fixture in our house. Almost everything is on a dimmer switch. The bathroom is on a dimmer switch for multiple lights. Like our walk-in closet is on a dimmer switch. It's very unnecessary, but when we were building this house, we wanted to just do it once, do it right, get everything that we wanted. So we put fucking everything on a recessed ass can with a dimmer ass switch. And uh, I'll still say underrated, but like this is not a make or break for me like it was for Matt. Matt is he's very picky. He's very particular about everything that we put into this house. So reluctantly underrated.
Reluctantly.
Underrated. And I did Google it. No, you can't use Sam's Club at Costco. Or the
Womp
other way,
womp.
or the other way around. Bwomp. But which one has chicken bakes? Like only Costco?
Only Costco.
Did I have I announced publicly, except for the Discord, that the new warehouse I'm opening does not have chicken bakes? They got fresh sushi made to
Ooh.
order instead.
That would be so much better in my book, I think, depending on
Yeah,
if it's
that's
good sushi
wrong
or not.
opinion.
Chicken bake, like
I want chicken bakes up here. Sushi's fun and all, but like I don't know how much I
I don't know if I
trust
would.
Yuko
Yeah,
Sushi, right?
I don't trust the kids that make the chicken bakes because they can barely like just put something in the oven for fucking 3 minutes and take it out.
Yeah.
Because everyone,
I
yeah,
would, if it's those same kids making sushi, I think I would trust them less.
no, and
Respectfully.
I do recount like I like sushi. I like good sushi better than a chicken bake in general, but
Right.
I would not
But it's got to
trust
be good.
Costco sushi. I would trust like Wegmans pre-made sushi, which is great. I think that's amazing. I would take that over
Yeah.
a chicken bake
Costco
all day,
has
every day.
pre-made sushi right
And
now.
I would take that. I don't think I would take like fresh sushi because
Well,
that would how fresh is the Costco?
Right. Hot fresh,
That's
we're
a
talking.
weird decision too.
yeah, I'll
They
review it.
have, we are Sam's Club people, and they have sushi at Sam's Club. Matt is a big fan. I am personally not a huge fan. I want it to be fresher and professionally prepared
Yeah.
in a way that I don't believe that Sam's Club really can be
Mhm.
with raw fish. So,
Yeah.
yeah, we are
Well,
big
I'll let you know
Sam's
how it
Club
goes.
people. Yeah,
All right. Unpaid
support
or
that.
underrated, Aldi.
Oh, I fucking love Aldi. I'm a slut for Aldi. I love Aldi's. That is my ride or die grocery store. I have all of the local Aldi's memorized. I wish that I could go to Aldi's a lot more. It's my happy place. Underrated all day. You're asking me only underrated things. You just want me to talk about things that make me happy. You guys are the best. Big fan of Aldi. Bring your fucking quarter. The cart is worth it. I don't like the self checkout, but there is really nothing could make me hate Aldi ever. So
Is it all self?
underrated.
I haven't been in Aldi in a long time. Is it all self checkout now? I've never self checked out at Aldi.
We have one last bastion in the Niagara County area. We have the Lockport Aldi, still does not have a self checkout. Thank fucking God. But the other ones, it's just if I'm going to a self checkout, I want to have max 10 items. I don't want to go with my whole ass
Yeah, for
cart.
sure.
If I'm stocking up on groceries, I don't want a whole cart full of shit. I don't want to put all that through the self checkout. But I do have a
I
hack
agree.
at Aldi. Here's the thing, they only have like one cashier working. So if we have one cashier working the one lane that's open for the elderly or whatever, and I've got to slum it in the self checkout, I ain't taking all my shit out of the cart because I have to rebag it all anyway. I got to keep it moving. This is Aldi. We're there with a purpose to get in and out. I grab the wand scanner, I take it to the cart,
Well, yeah, that's nice.
and I'm not bagging it as you go. You got to keep it moving. Bag your shit later at the counters like everyone else.
Mhm.
That's what I have to say about that.
Nice.
Where
We're
did
getting
I
a
where did
getting a
I
brand
go in
new
Ohio?
Aldi's right next to me. I'm hoping it's saves us some money if we actually go shopping now.
Where we were staying in Dublin, Ohio, there was a place across the street and they were all self checkout. But like the self checkouts up here, like at the Costco or the Sobeys or some of the higher end ones, like there's somebody there to help. At the place I went in, there was just nobody. There was just like some 180-year-old guy that was
Aw.
just like staring into space. And I'm going like, hello, like I'm not from here. I don't know any of these things. Like I
Right.
can figure out a self checkout, but it's asking me for my zip code. I don't have a zip code. How do I bypass
Oh,
this? And
no.
he's just like, ugh, like drool hanging down. I was like, well, I guess I'm not buying these things, right? Because there
Right.
was no bypass button or whatever it was asking me for. That fuck it. I hate self checkouts.
So what, you had to put several items back, or were you not
God,
able to purchase it all?
I ended up finding somebody. Like I just ended up
Oh,
like getting somebody and I'm going like, I don't have one of these. And they were like, just put ours in. And I was like, I don't know yours either. I'm from Canada. Like we have
Okay.
right.
6-digit postal codes that
I'm
are
not going to Google this
alphanumeric.
for you. You fuck.
Yeah. Like, yeah. That's now you're annoying me with your self checkout rather than making it convenient.
I
Most
know you could
scenarios.
have made up any zip code. I mean, what do they need it
Yeah.
for?
Yeah. 69696969. Like nice, nice,
There
nice.
it
And
is.
get out the
I
door.
mean, that's too many digits, but I see what you're trying to
Yeah.
do.
I mean, it would just stop taking it once you've 69 enough. Didn't mean to be an innuendo, but it's true. Like you just
That was actually probably one of your best innuendos, to be honest with you. I'm happy it was an accident.
Perfect.
It's good stuff.
Last but not least, unpaid or underrated Travis Kelce. Is it Kelsey or Kelce? Don't fucking correct me on that one.
I was
I'm
about
pretty
to.
sure
It's
it's
Kelsey. It's
Kelsey,
1
but I'm
million
not that.
percent Kelsey.
Fine.
It's
Is
not.
it Kelsey?
Kelsey.
Okay. Yeah,
There's not
there you
an
go.
H at the end. It's not Kelchi like chia. It's
Okay, and
Kelsey.
there was no H in Corchi.
Huh?
The other guy whose name we got
Um,
wrong,
Oh
they said
yeah,
had a
we fucked
CH
that
in
up
it.
so bad. We did not get that one right at all.
There he is.
Big hot to the rescue.
Big
Big
odds here.
hot.
big dog.
How do you say Travis's name
Hot
there? Big hot.
dog.
So we just got our last unpaid and underrated in. Travis Kelce.
Um, I don't have a huge opinion. I like Taylor Swift. I like that she's dating Travis Kelsey. I I'm not a huge I'm not the biggest fan, but I'm not going to say that he's unpaid. I'm going to say that he's underrated. He's fine. He's a great football player. Don't ask me what position he plays. I'm not really good at football stuff.
Me either.
But he's fine. He's fine. He makes Taylor Swift happy. I'm happy. Everyone's happy.
That's the spirit.
Underrated.
All right. Well, I think you passed unpaid and underrated.
Yay!
She did. This is
Thank God. I thought you were going to kick me off if I didn't pass.
Well, that's
Yeah,
why
we'll just-
Scott was here. Scott's
Yep.
here to kick you off if you don't pass.
Yep.
He's the enforcer.
We'll have to take your spot.
Ow.
Well, let's see. Big Scott there. Big Scott, did you want to ask her one of your questions? We honestly didn't get a chance to get to that. Is there anything you wanted to ask Big Jess that we can keep under a minute or two?
How do you keep from dying laughing every time your husband yells tits instead of hips when you're deadlifting?
We did
It's
ask that
horrible.
one.
That was the only one
Oh,
we
you
did
did?
ask.
I know.
That's all good.
We did
I think you had
ask.
you had three
Very
more.
important question.
That one I didn't have labeled as Scott. I think it was under Toby's name or something, just the way it copied. Any other ones?
Just books related. I've been keeping a track of her books that she's been reading, and we both have read. I've read all of the Alphabet Mysteries, and she's been going through it. And those are special
am
books to
flying
me
through
because they're just cozy.
I love them. I just finished Q over the weekend, so I'll be going on to the rest of the alphabet, R through Y, very shortly here. I'm really enjoying them. You know, it started with like a book club had us read the first book in the series, A is for Alibi, and the general consensus is that they did not really like it, but I loved it. So I am happy to keep going through the rest of this 25 book series, and I'm so glad that Scott loves it too. I recommend these to anyone. They're just a fun mystery. It's very authentically set in the 80s, and I'm very happy with it. One of my favorites this year for sure.
I
They
do
felt
like.
like they just feel like home. They make me feel like home every time I read them. And yeah.
That sounds interesting. Yeah, because I do like period piece like movies and shows like shit from the 80s and early 90s and stuff that always gives you that nostalgia. I don't know that I'm trying to think like I mean I've read like there's like portraying the 80s in a book would be so much harder I guess than like because it's so visual and shit on like a TV or a movie. So I'd be
She
curious.
started writing it in the 80s and just kept the character there. So
Okay.
throughout the 20, 30 years that she wrote them, she just kept the
Gotcha.
character in the same spot.
That makes sense. That makes sense better than being like, I'm just gonna, tell a story from 40 years ago.
I have a theory about why all the movies right now take place in the 80s and 90s, and it's because they don't want to include cell phones because cell phones make every story harder.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
You can't have a horror movie like with a genuine like stalker killer if everybody's just constantly filming them. And I think that that's why a lot of these movies are going back, like Wonder Woman 1984. That's why they can't do a modern Wonder Woman because we would just know who she is. We all have cameras all the time.
Yeah. Every horror movie's like it's like a cabin in the woods where there's no cell service or like there's some kind of element eliminating technology.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's why we are seeing a lot of these. It's easier to make this in the 80s type of thing.
Mhm.
But that's just a theory.
I think the most recent, what was it? One of the most recent Halloweens. I believe it was the Halloween. Yeah. No, it was Texas Chainsaw Massacre. There was one where they just all took out their cell phones and then he just fucking cut them all up with the chainsaw. It was hysterical. They were all like live streaming and he just fucking cuts them all up. But I do, yes, like cell phone, yes, like a cell phone can solve the like 90% of the mysteries and like avoid 80% of like deaths in any movie. So I think that's probably why period pieces do so well. Yep, do.
There it is.
All right, Big Jess, do you have anything you want to hit the Joey and the Keith with, as I don't know how to speak?
I have so
But at least I
many.
didn't say
Either we can
Kelchi.
keep them short. I have a lot of stuff for you guys. Either we can try to keep
No,
it
we're
short
good.
and go through it, but
We got
we got a little bit of time.
yeah. That's all
Okay,
we got.
business first. The sisters, they had a great merch drop last week. When are we going to have the next unpaid and underrated merch drop? Are we going to have unpaid and underrated silkies?
I mean, we need everyone to buy out our first run. I kind of like periodically throw up a thing to help motivate some of our past guests, but I don't think they care enough anymore because I've got like 20 or 30 guests that just won't buy the shirt. I'm just like, okay,
Okay.
thanks.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think a lot of people might be t-shirted out. We have,
I'm
there's
I'm
only so
t-shirted
many.
out.
I feel it, but
Yeah, I can't anymore. There was one that came out the other day, and I wanted to buy it so bad. It essentially said, if you've ever heard anything bad about me, believe that shit and leave me the fuck alone. And I was like, that would be ideal for me to wear to work, like with all of the managers and stuff, because like that's precisely where I am. But like again, I have so many shirts that I have 2 drawers full, and then the top of my dresser is the rest of them, and
Mhm.
that's stacked up as high as the TV. So like I'm t-shirted out, and I can't keep buying. Plus swear words around the kids. My
yeah.
my
Well,
5-year-old is just starting to read,
that's
and
unfortunate. Yeah.
yeah, the old lift heavy eat ass is currently on the floor under the bed getting ready for the garbage because he can't
Yeah.
he can't read that one.
If you put it away, one day you will be able to bring it back out. I wouldn't throw it away. When are you going to get the chance to have a shirt like that again?
I'm gonna cut the
I'm,
sleeves off. It's too
I
small.
mean, what's almost as good as a pair of Silkies is a unpaid and underrated banner, and
Yeah,
plate snacks code unpaid and get you one of those. So, you know,
silkies. I would love to release more silkies because I like I have one pair and they're
You
impossible
got
to
to give
find
the
some
people what
days.
they want.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
bright
mean,
red just says everything is
Yeah.
fine on it.
mhm, nice.
Perfect. Great. Okay. I'm moving on. Okay.
Yep.
We've had this conversation, not us specifically, but the group in general, about like what is like the one lift to move them all, or the one movement that you think is like the quintessential like marker of strength or fitness. Some people say it's like bench or squat or deadlift. Other people might get in like an overhead press or something that just can kind of show like I've got a base level of fitness and health. I have an idea about that, and I love to yap about it. And that is, if you can do one of no, Scott, it's not deadlift.
That's just the
Scott's trying to
best.
give me some subliminal messaging over there. It's not deadlift, but thank you for your input. If you can do one of these, I feel like, okay, you've got a good starting point, and that is doing one single cartwheel. Not doesn't
Ooh,
have to be a perfect cartwheel, but if you can do one cartwheel, you've got a little bit of balance, coordination. You need some strength, upper body. You need to be able to kind of control your trunk. Have some core strength to go over, hands down and then feet down and not wiping out. Any thoughts on that? Joey, you don't even need to say anything. I know that you would do 5 cartwheels right now if I asked you to.
One-handed or
Steve,
two?
Scott, anyone? Well, I mean, choose your own adventure, Joey.
all I know
Whatever
is
floats your boat.
if I tried to do one down my hallway right now, I'd pull a big Tanner and put a huge ass print in my drywall. So I probably don't want to do that. But I think I think I'd break my wrist. I really like. I think just this body weight and just having like issues with some like wrist pain already. Like, oh, I don't see that being something I'd want to do at 255 pounds. Get me down to
Maybe not
200
like
and
on the
I'll try
ground.
it.
We got to like start on like a trampoline or like some kind of soft surface. Maybe work our way up to a cartwheel. I feel that I could do a cartwheel. It's not going to be pretty. It's not going to get me a gold medal. But I feel like I could at least do one. And when I think about the people in my life, I'm like, well, do I think that they could do a cartwheel or not? Yes or no. If the answer is no, I don't really care about their opinions as much.
Oh, jeez.
I've got some people who I won't name, but who try to tell me what I should be doing with my health, or
Oh, I'm sure
not
everyone
just
has an
diet,
opinion
but
about your.
exercise. Oh,
So you went
yeah.
from like not lifting most of your life to being a woman in her late 20s, early 30s that got into geared powerlifting with her
Mm-hmm.
husband. I'm sure your friends and family are like, Jess, what the fuck are you doing? Like,
Yeah, I've got some people that think, it's too much weight. It's not good for your spine. It's not good
oh,
for, and I'm like, can you do a cartwheel? If the answer's no, then don't talk to me.
Stephanie showed her mom the videos of all my static monster lifts, and she saw the picking up the stone, and she in like the 10 seconds after watching it, I think she said like 8 different times how bad that was for my back
Hmm.
and how worried she was for
Perfect.
me. And I'm just like,
Great.
okay, thanks.
I
Thanks so much
I
for that input.
I think you know what I would throw in? Sitting
Hmm.
down cross-legged and then standing up again.
I can do that.
No hands.
Yeah, I would even say no hands, but like if
That
you
I
can do
probably.
that without hurting yourself, I think you're probably at a good base level of mobility for our age.
Scott disagrees.
Scott.
I think Scott's a little skeptical about the ability to sit down cross-legged. I mean, for a lot of men, I think truly sitting cross-legged is not an easy feat. I cannot relate. I have no problem sitting down, but I am sorry for them because I love
Yep.
to sit.
From standing to the floor and back up, and if you can do it without making the noise, then you're even more advanced.
I know. I believe that getting out of your chair for a cold brew screw is on uh, our shiny new crew RPE scale. I think it's a
Yes.
number 3, but it's a number 9 if you're in the masters category. So
Damn it.
Getting there.
I'm still in my wobbly chair here. All right.
You didn't buy a new chair
well,
yet?
I look forward to seeing you guys do some cartwheels. I know Scott won't let me down, and Joey, I'm sure you will do a cartwheel as soon as we hang up.
Yeah, like they're easy for me. My old Spider-Man mobility here.
um, okay, I'm going to move on. It is the Halloween episode, so I have some
Mhm.
Halloween themed questions for you guys. I
Do it.
would love to hear about your favorite Halloween costume ever, childhood, adult. What is your favorite costume or your favorite memory of dressing up for Halloween?
I think I went as the Crow. I remember going as the Eric Draven the Crow in middle in fuck no, it would have been like third grade or something. So I'm
Mhm.
wearing like that was back when you could like take like toy machine guns and shit to the fucking school and had like a long wig and like the shittiest white makeup with like the black lipstick and everything. And that's when I always remember. And I remember like going trick or treating. It was so horrible because like the shit was just you're all sweating and stuff because it was like I think it was like a hot fucking October, and I'm just like the makeups are running down your face and shit, and yeah, very that was unpleasant. But just that's the only one that really sticks out that I remember
Yeah.
like actively being like, this is fucking cool. I'm not wearing a hand me down because I had two brothers that are 6 years older. Like 90% of the shit I had to wear was just like hand me down shit. So like not having to wear a hand me down Halloween costume. And I'm pretty sure half of it was hand me down shit, just like morphed, Frankenstein into what I considered that costume.
So Dodds wanted to point out that his Mac costume tonight is one of his favorite.
Next night from McDonald's.
Yep.
Moonhead.
Oh yeah.
My dad made me a moonhead when I was a kid to be Mac tonight from the McDonald's commercials. You remember that?
No, maybe I do. I'd have to if I look it up, I might remember it. It might also shock you, Keith. I was also the Crow in high school multiple
Nice.
times, but I actually had long hair.
Ah,
So we just got like the temporary black spray
gotcha.
because it was just easy for me to do. Like I just had long hair. Like
Yeah.
why wouldn't you? And it was the best movie ever. And interestingly, I think I'm gonna try and do that again this Halloween. But we're gonna run the paint down the beard.
You never gave me your, we'll steal Jessica's episode for 2 seconds. You never gave me your feedback on when you did watch the remake.
Oh, we texted about it.
I can't remember.
Yeah, absolutely. If that movie was 2 hours long, 15 minutes of it was a Crow movie.
Yes. Yeah, that was good. Yep.
Like
Okay.
it's this weird thing where like we don't need an hour and a half of how much they love each other.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
the
Yeah.
first Crow
We
movie
did
showed us
follow
that in the first 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And this movie was like, no, the entire movie is that. Then we'll get 15 minutes of revenge kills. And I was like, no, like I've got the original comics. They're sitting in a box right like 5 feet from me. You could have done so much more. Either way, my favorite was one that I invented myself. So I'm gonna give you two because they're mishmash. I did I did a Where's Waldo, but then I also wore a werewolf costume under it, so I was Where Waldo.
I like that. That's clever.
It was a lot to explain, but when I finally got it, like when people were like, "Oh, that's pretty funny," like yeah, I know, and it was hot as shit. And then I did Canadian Spider-Man, where I wore like a full Spider-Man jumpsuit, but with like a denim jacket and like one of those like weird toques that with the flaps on the ears. And if you remember, that was about the time the song "Out for a Rip" was really popular. But I was telling everybody it was out for a thwip, which is the sound that they always use for Spider-Man's webbing. That was really funny, um, for me at least. And then I ended up going on a mechanical bull. Like that was a wild Halloween. Um, I've had a lot of really fun costumes. The Fiend, the
You
first
have?
time I dressed as the Fiend, that was really fun, especially because I saw another little kid dressed as the Fiend, and we got to have like a really cool conversation about our favorite wrestler together. And he was like 12 years old, and he had more things than I had. He had like the head lantern, and he had like the gloves, and like it was just so cool to see a kid right reflected in an adult, and like we were both like so excited to meet each other. Yeah, so that would be those ones. I try and do
Holly?
something silly every Halloween. I Halloween is my favorite time of the year.
Oh yeah, it's very fun. It's very spooky. So let's hear, what is your favorite Halloween candy? Druthers acceptable. Doesn't need to be a full Mount Rushmore, but if you like candy, if you don't like candy, what's your preferred snack or beverage this time of year? Let's hear about it.
Reese cups for sure. We're all like
Classic.
just a basic Reese cup, like none of those
Very
like
basic.
flavored vanilla, whatever the fuck. Like just give me a
Not
Some
even
Reese
like
cup.
the pumpkins though. This is fucking like
I don't,
Reese's pumpkin
I don't
season.
like pumpkin flavor.
Somehow every
No,
year
it's
my
not pumpkin flavor. It's shaped like a pumpkin.
yeah.
Oh, well, I guess. But no, I like the texture of the ridges and I don't like change. Change is fucking the worst thing in the world. So taking the perfect fucking snack of a Reese cup that has the ridges around it that are just like comfort and like half of it is like it tastes like what it's supposed to because you're like chewing those like fucking
Gotta feel
like
the right way on his
It's
tongue.
got
He
basically
mouth
said
like
he
a
wants
feels.
the rich.
yeah, it literally has a mouthfeel. So taking that away and making it just it's making it a
Ridge for his pleasure.
yeah.
Yep.
Indeed.
Somehow my kids, whenever they come home, they never have any Reese's, and I don't know what happened there.
I
They
think they
just
eat them on the way home.
somebody does.
And Reese
Uh,
cups are a million times better than Reese pieces.
mm,
Reese pieces are like so much not a Reese cup.
They
as
have
some
their own place. It's a different candy.
Peanut M&Ms for me too would be right up there. But
I actually don't eat a lot of candy. I have my gummy bears.
Ooh.
Yeah, I have my gummy bears behind me for when deadlifts make me want to pass out, and I just need a very quick glucose hit so that I
Mhm.
don't fall over. Um, so I actually just don't eat candy. So I really enjoyed like
Mhm.
the chips and stuff that we get. Sometimes I'll eat what you guys call Smarties, we call Rockets. I
I've heard
like to,
that. I had
yeah,
yeah, I
rockets
think we've
today.
talked about that. Yeah.
It is the
yeah,
same thing though.
I like to steal those from the kids every once in a while just because they're just chalky
Do you guys
sugar.
give chips out like little like
Yeah,
family
absolutely.
bag of chips?
Yeah,
Okay.
you buy them in boxes of 60 at Costco.
Yeah.
It all comes back to Costco.
It
I
really
love it.
does. It
Full
does.
circle.
Especially if you have
Well,
Sam's Club member.
one more Halloween question, and let's get a little bit spooky with it. I want to hear what you guys are afraid of. Do you have any phobias? What will you not fuck with?
Oh, watching a scary movie alone in like a dark house. Like
What?
I have to mute
That's my
shit.
jam.
I have to mute
You can
stuff. Like
turn it
so like
off. That's not a
but I mean
phobia.
like I don't know. I remember I was somewhat afraid of the dark at certain times as a kid. As far as like today, what I'm afraid of, like I don't know, change.
Yeah, that's
As
Yeah,
far as like
we can tell
as
Mr.
far as
Ridges.
like as far as like a stereotypical like I'm not afraid of spiders, just don't want to kill them. Like you know what I mean? Like I don't know. I can't think of something that I'm like terrified. Like I don't have a quote unquote phobia that I could. I'm sure if you maybe ask Stephanie, she could tell you one, but I can't think of anything.
wide open spaces bother me. Unknown wide open
Really?
spaces. Absolutely. If it's the idea that just suddenly my more particularly when I wasn't in control. So now that I'm the main driver, it's a less of an issue. But if I was driving with like my mom or somebody and we were going through like a wide open country space and there's no houses and there's no nothing, that would terrify me as a kid.
Really?
Well, and it's not like a lack of trust for anybody, but it was just like if I was alone here, I'd die. There's no way I could do anything. And that's
Wow.
probably what like kicked in some of the survival training I started doing as a teenager, like getting used to like carrying a knife and learning how to start a fire and all that kind of shit. But that would always terrify me as a kid. Um, a pec tear, yeah, that would suck. Yeah, I definitely don't want to do one of those or an
Oh,
ACL tear. Um,
Any kind of tear, truly.
yeah, I don't like. I'm one of those people, kind of like Keith, where like I wouldn't say I'm afraid of anything, but I know when to give something distance, right? Like if I'm out usually at night by myself, and it's usually in the winter because it's my favorite thing to do is just on a night I don't have to work in the morning. I light a fire, I crack a beer, and I sit in the backyard in the dark around the fire. We call it the mental health fire. If I start to hear coyotes get too close, I start to gauge how many times I have to look behind my back. It's not that I'm afraid of coyotes because they don't usually mess with people. And like, I feel like I could take a coyote, but like, I know enough. Okay. Sounds like there's a few of you. Sounds like you're getting kind of close. Maybe I'll go in the house. Right. So I wouldn't say I'm afraid of those types of things, but I definitely know to give them distance.
It sounds like you might be a little afraid, but that's okay. Everyone's got something they're afraid of.
Well, that would be the same thing. One day I was walking down the street as a teenager and I saw a wolf in the fucking street. But then
How very Canadian of you.
But no, I remembered that we had a guy that had a pet wolf that lived up the street. And I was so not scared of this thing before I remembered whose it was. And then I was like, wait a minute, Cash? And the dog looks at me and comes running over and I took him home. So like, I'm not like I said, there's no phobia where I'm just like, ugh. But again, I'm sitting in the dark by myself with a cornfield behind me full of coyotes. Might be time to give them their space.
Time to go inside.
Yeah.
I'd say.
All right, I've got one last question for you guys.
Oh, Keith got cut off.
Because I know. Oh, Keith, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, I would say I used to be a lot more. I was like, if this was like 3 years ago, like, what are you afraid of? Like, fucking public interactions with like people.
Aw,
like,
you've come so far, Keith.
Yeah, like going up to people that I should be comfortable talking to, and just now I will and probably wouldn't, a few years ago. So, kind of like the stuff we touched base that on the wives episode, but yeah, just I guess it's I don't know. I don't have a phobia as a 40-year-old man that I know of.
That you know of.
You out of here,
that I know
you've done great.
I'm sure subconsciously there's something in there. Now I'll be aware of it, and when I figure it out, I'll be like, it's all I can see is this phobia that Big Jess ruined my life with. That now I'm aware of.
When I was a kid, I used to love heights, and somewhere in like my late 30s, it suddenly just became very uncomfortable. But I think it was the intrusive thoughts that made it uncomfortable because you'd look over the edge, and your brain would go, "You could do it." And then you're like, whoa, like now I'm suddenly very uncomfortable here. Right. So I wouldn't say it's a phobia because like I still love roller coasters and everything like that. But yeah, maybe that one too. It always makes me weirded out seeing that kind of thing.
I had a similar thing. Like when I was younger, I had no problem with like open water, but now I cannot fuck with open water.
Yeah.
Like
definitely feels
a
unpleasant.
a pond with like not very clear water, any lake or river, anything could be in there, man.
Yeah.
Anything can swim right up and get me. Even like the microbes, like the little bacteria shit. I don't want any. I don't even want my toenails in it. I want no part of me in that water. I'll be in the pool. I'd love to see the water. I will watch the water from the sand. I'll be looking at it from the coast. I do not want to be in the water.
That's a good one. I remember as a kid, we went out to a cottage to record an album, and we arrived kind of for dinner. So we ate dinner. And then the first thing I did was run and dive into the lake at like 11 p.m. Like that was like, I was so determined to do that. And now I look at Blackwater and I'm like, ugh. I don't even like driving near Lake Superior. I'm like, that's a terrifying land area. I don't want to. Nope.
Not for me.
Nope. All right.
That's all right. I got one last one.
Keep going.
We are moving away from Halloween. We are leading into Christmas season. As any of your wives, I'm sure, will tell you, November 1st is the start of Christmas season. Some people may have their druthers about that, but
half my Christmas presents are already in the room next to me that she's got to wrap up.
Perfect. We've got the same idea. I am ready to shift into Christmas mode. What is, in your opinion, the right time to put up the Christmas tree, or what is the earliest acceptable time? A very hot topic.
It's very easy for me. My birthday. Yeah. December 13th.
Sooner.
Christmas tree goes up within a day or two of that.
Say within a week of Thanksgiving being over, maybe.
So Thanksgiving already happened.
So American Thanksgiving. So yeah, basically I guess because depending on how the month falls, but like the very, very end of November. I mean, December ideally, but I don't know. I have cats, so we don't have a tree. I haven't had a tree since I lived at home.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Wow.
Well, technically, the wife, she did buy me a tree when we were catless, and now it won't ever come back out because the cats will fucking eat it. So they're stupid.
That's how it goes, man. How about you, Scott?
Oh, as late as possible because I always forget to.
My heart here.
I always forget to water it, and then it gets too dry. And then when I take it out, I get needles everywhere.
Hmm.
Mhm.
As a kid, several years in a row, we used to get them on Christmas Eve and make like in a whole Christmas Eve tradition, putting the tree up and decorating it. But
But lighting that dry tree on fire is top tier. Yeah, you take
we
that out to
we
the.
save them for the next spring every year.
Yeah,
I guess that is
Right.
another part of it, like real tree versus artificial tree. I am, unfortunately, an artificial tree person. I know
Same.
that real tree people get very angry about it. I know, Scott. I know it's a travesty, but here's the thing: I can count on one person to help me put up the tree, and that person is myself. Matt has never or very rarely ever helps put up the tree. Now we have a really tall ceiling in the room we put our tree in, so it's a very large tree. It's a multi-day project to get the tree up. It would not be cost efficient to buy a giant ass tree every year.
hmm
So we have our artificial tree. I love the artificial tree because it takes so long to put it up. I want to put it up as soon as possible. If I could get away with putting it up on election day, because that is a holiday for me from work, I would put it up on election day. But in lieu of that, because I won't have any help, I will probably
it's
put it
like
up on
November
Veterans.
11th. You have that thing up for like a month
Yeah.
and a half.
You'll have it. Well, it'd be more. It'd be like 2.5. Because you probably
Yeah,
doesn't take it down until fucking like February.
mid January. Yeah, yeah. I got to get my time's worth out of it. I put a lot of work
I
into
I
that.
agree
And it's
with
a
that. Like
beautiful tree.
my mom always decorated. She always, did everything to the tens on anything how, festive. And it was always like early December, like basically like
Mhm.
probably the weekend after Thanksgiving, typically like shit started getting decorated. And that
Yeah.
was great as a kid because then it's like you're more in the festive mindset. So if I could have a tree, yeah, I would have it up all December.
I would do we're a real tree family, but that's just because this will come to a surprise as nobody. I don't actually care. I actually wouldn't put up a tree at all if it wasn't for the kids. Like I have no my grandma was always the Christmas person, so I have one little ceramic tree that's like a foot and a half tall. That's my tree. That was my grandma's. When she died, it became mine. That's my tree.
Mhm.
But because my wife cares and my kids care, we have a tree farm we go to. We cut it down ourselves or we just go get it at the whatever. But I would actually do one of the artistic artificial trees, like one of those white ones with the lights built in that just looks super cool. I would do one of those, but she can't. She says no, real trees only. She
Well,
apparently likes the rotting corpse in our living room for a
you
month.
got to compromise. Happy wife, happy life.
Correct. Happy spouse, happy house.
Sure. I like that. That's nice. All right, guys. That's all I have.
All right. Want to round it all on down there, Keith?
Absolutely. So everyone, do us a favor and head over to our friends and your friends' website. Got some affiliate links for you. So Obsidian, Barbell Rescue, Plate Snacks, Home Gym Con, Belt Fed Strength, and apparel from the Strength Go. Go ahead and use code UNPAID and save you a little bit of money on all those websites, and maybe get us a little one step closer to that speedboat. And Big Jess, where are they going to find you at?
For powerlifting, you can find me at jess.says. And for book reading, book reviewing, all bookish content, you can find me at Just Read Receipts. I won't spell that out. Just look for it in the show notes.
And that's JES and S, not JED. And Big Joey, where we at, buddy?
You can find me at same place, Joey underscore Malesko, MLECZKO. You can find my most sarcastic and trolling comments at Unpaid Podcasts Instagram, where, like I said earlier, I just really troll Keith on his own Instagram. It is kind of fun.
Yeah, it's all good. We have a website, unpaidinternpodcast.com. Go check out the YouTubes. Nate, I think, did start acknowledging the Spotify comments, but I think they're per episode, not necessarily a review, because I went and looked for a bunch, but I wasn't looking through like 50 episodes to find one comment. So keep them coming. Nate will see them next year. Appreciate all that. And
And
I'm
don't
Keith.
forget, sorry, Keith, just one more thing.
Yeah.
Um, Still a large majority of our listeners are Apple Music. So let's pump up those reviews.
Yep. That'd be nice. Yeah, we'll if once we actually get an alert, we got a few, we can we'll read them out, or at least well,
Yeah.
we're not gonna read them out, but I'll share them on Instagram more than likely, so, or Joey will, so we can take care of that for you guys. I'm Keith. You can follow me on Instagram at KeithHoneycutt73. More importantly, go follow my Orange Gym, the No Wine Cellar, and we'll see you next Tuesday.